Here we go. All right.
Dude. Welcome. Oh no.
Yeah, so I made this on my phone in a day,
Dude, I love it.
and I'm so offended by how easy this was.
Oh, really?
Like, it's so easy to make music on your phone.
This reminds me of like some retro.
I can't hear you. What?
Oh, it reminds me of like some retro kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to pinpoint it. I'm not doing a very good job of it, but I love it. It's classic.
It's got like a little 80s vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of funk in there.
Yeah. I feel like it's like an early 90s radio show. Something like that, you know? Like a Don Cherry Grapevine.
We'll see if anybody ends up coming in here and hanging out. All right, we are fucking live, boys. Here we go. Let me close this other shit. We don't keep lagging. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Get rid of all this. Get rid of this. There we go. We should be good. Jim, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, how are you?
Thanks for joining me tonight. Cheers.
Thanks for having me,
Cheers
man.
our pops.
So it is.
Our pops. Actually, you know what? I'm going to fire. You want a cigar?
No, I'm good for now. Thank you.
Shout out to sponsor Mako V for the free cigars. Oh, game hasn't started yet. That's why the graphic's not on, but we will have it up there for you guys.
I'm still not accustomed to the Bally Sports logo.
I think it's trash. I think the whole idea that, like, an old shitty gym where people used to go work out and swim.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, Bally Total. Okay, I didn't even put two
Bally
and two
Swim
together.
and
Wow.
Fitness, I think, is what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it bothers me. I'm assuming it's the same thing because I think that's what the logo was.
Yeah, it looks familiar. It was just such a weird switch up, and not that Fox Sports was elite. I mean, they had the same dinger and the same intro music for like 10 years.
Greatest sports music of all time, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
with the football, the robot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. That was the NFL on Fox.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I like it. It was the same. Like for all the teams that used Fox.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. Like things a little bit more colorful. But,
I will say, though, Fox knew how to do some sports.
Yeah, it's weird just to see things switch over. Like now to see the NHL on TNT. Honestly, I think they do a really good job.
TNT's always done good with sports. When they were doing, they've been doing basketball for a long time.
Yeah.
TNT's always done a really great job. I just don't like any sports on cable. I think if they were smart, they'd all figure out a way to get on regular TV.
Right.
I think it'd be better for the sport.
It's weird to not see NBC do hockey, but then to see someone take it like TNT and be a little bit
better.
More flavorful. Yeah, with like Paul Bissonnette, and like obviously they have the great one on the panel, so it's going to be elite either way. But Rick Tocchet, I mean, all those guys are so entertaining. I mean, it's really fun to watch on those Wednesday nights. They really have a good time, and Biz keeps it so loose. He says so much shit that could get him in trouble, and it's nice to see him kind of push the boundaries on that. Have fun with it, especially nowadays.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, Jim. You are the official hockey expert of the Extravaganza Sportscast. Or Sportscast Extravaganza. I still haven't decided like which way that's going to read. Are we reading it Sportscast Extravaganza or Extravaganza Sportscast? Not that it matters, but compared to football, I know fuck all about hockey. So I'm excited to have you here.
Hell yeah. Big hockey guy.
So your last game with the Minnesota Magicians was last night.
Yeah. The team's moving to Eagle River, Wisconsin, so I had a nice 9-year run. It was so much fun. Calling games for a junior hockey team. It was very entertaining. Hard to go. It was a little bit emotional last night, but it was fun. Junior hockey originally had the Twin Cities Vulcans like in the late 90s and the early 2000s, and they moved on. And then the Magicians came in 2013. But
so is that like juniors as in like kids who are in basically a pro league?
They don't get paid. It's so guys that can move on to Division I college hockey.
That's
yeah. So it's ages 16 to 20. A lot of kids are leaving high school early.
They don't get paid, but those kids are basically pro.
Yeah. I mean, they play for free, which is you're playing 60 games. You're making trips up to Alaska, that kind of thing. Sticks and equipment. All that
sounds like exploitation, if you ask me, Jim.
Oh geez. Well, hey, now guys in the NCAA are getting fat checks. So
I know that's
it's
what
weird.
I'm saying.
And did that have something to do with the transfer portal? Because it's I don't know much about that, but I've realized like one of the major Division I basketball schools, one of the coaches stepped down and every single player transferred. Like it's way easier to transfer now. I don't know if it's that you don't have to sit a year out or what it is. Like the women's Gophers basketball team, I think they only have 3 players right now because I don't know anything about Lindsay Whalen, but I don't think people want to play for her.
Really?
Well, yeah, I maybe I read that headline wrong, but it was a situation where just now it seems a lot more easier to transfer. And
well, I know they've given like new exemptions for not having to sit out for a year, right? So it's like what you just kind of said. Like if your coach resigns or retires or takes a new job, I think you can transfer without sitting out a year.
Right. Which I mean, who am I to say that that's not? I mean, there's been so many guys that have. I think Randy Moss played. Maybe he didn't play, but wasn't he a member of 3 different colleges? He finished at Marshall. He had a run at Florida State.
He was for sure at 2 because he got kicked out of the first place.
And was that Florida State?
I don't remember.
We'd
have to look that up.
It's weird to see.
Man, Fleury is the shit. I am so excited we have this guy on our team. I actually think the Wild can win a Stanley Cup now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the move. We talked about a little bit earlier, just how like Minnesota sports isn't known to make that big move, call it a small market, whatever, if you're comfortable calling it that. But I don't know. It's nice to have some reassurance there on the back end. You got to have a goalie if you want to win a cup. It's weird to even say the Wild and then say a cup because I've never taken it seriously.
I know. That's the craziest thing. Like I thought I don't know when it was. Fuck, it might have been 10 years ago for all I remember. But the Wild were in the playoffs. I think we had beaten the Blues. And we were going into the divisional round. And it really felt like it was our year. We had the best defense in hockey. That was Dubnyk's first year with us. He was the best goalie in hockey since he had joined the Wild. And if I remember right, fucking Wild got swept.
Right.
And it was like, it took so much out of me. It was one of those deals where it was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can be like a Wild fan the way I was a Vikings fan. Like, it just isn't working. It's too heartbreaking.
For me, that moment was when we had the run with Brett Favre and the Saints basically stomped him to death. I mean, they beat him up really bad, and I mean, I was all in on that. And now I don't know why I've been able to do that because I'm such a prideful person, but I've been able to like watch sports without having that connection with the team. Like, I'm obviously a Wild fan and I pull for them, but I like to watch all the teams. I'm a love the game type guy, so I never have too much like logo loyalty. But it's like if we grew up in New England, like we're gonna be Patriots fans, you know. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a Minnesota sports fan, so I will never root against any of the Minnesota teams.
Right.
But like you just said, like you're a fan of the game, so that's where I talk a lot about like the difference between being a football fan and a Vikings fan. The difference between being a Wolves fan and a basketball fan. Like, I'm not a basketball fan, but I'm a Wolves fan because they're a Minnesota sports team. So if the Wolves are on, I will watch the Wolves.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop and watch the Sixers versus the Celtics.
Yeah.
I have zero desire to watch that for basketball.
Right.
Hockey, it's somewhere in between. Like, I'll watch playoff hockey no matter who's playing. But you're rarely going to catch me watching a Caps Hurricanes game mid-season. It's just not something that I'm going to get into. But I will watch, like, I will go out of my way and make plans to watch the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what you're saying. I'm not necessarily obsessed with the logo either, but
if we had a championship, it'd probably be way different. You know, like some of the diehard Twins fans, like they got to experience it in 87, 91. Like I was born in 1987, and like I don't remember when I was 4 years old when we won it in 91. But like it's awesome to hear stories and that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
you know, not to shit on the Lynx, but we haven't done shit since. You know, and I don't know this for a fact either. Maybe I shouldn't be running my mouth. But wasn't there something that came out last year that like proved that the Timberwolves were one of the worst franchises among all the four major sports?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You know, so
and then the Twins have the longest streak of 0 wins in the playoffs of all sports.
What year was it then? It's like probably 04 or 05.
Yeah, it's like it's brutal.
Right.
It's like a crazy amount.
right.
Like, it's
it ain't good.
Hard to believe.
right.
Without a single victory.
right.
Not even winning the series, just a win.
Oh, geez, I didn't even notice it was that bad.
Yeah, so like the last time the Twins did anything in the playoffs and won anything, since then, they haven't won a single playoff game.
Oh.
I know, it's devastating.
They should spend a bunch of money on a shortstop. No,
I don't know enough about baseball anymore.
No, I don't either. I don't know.
I don't know enough about and I'm doing another sportscast on Thursday for the Twins home opener with Glenn Wadey. He does a baseball podcast. He's
nice.
He's in that band, The Grand Machine. He's actually been in a bunch of bands. He's a super fucking cool guy.
Oh yeah.
He knows a lot about baseball. He does a baseball podcast. I forget the name of it, but I'm gonna do these sportscasts this year with all the sports.
Yeah.
Starting with obviously baseball and hockey is the time of year we're in. But we are probably going to do some Wolves games here because it looks like the Wolves are going to make the playoffs. So,
you ever watch the United? Are you a soccer guy?
I'm not really into soccer.
Me neither.
I mean, I don't have anything against it. I'm not one of those guys who thinks it's a boring sport or anything like that.
Right.
But like, I did watch the women's soccer team destroy Japan a few years ago in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. That was pretty exciting to watch. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, they're just not televised. I've never been exposed to it. I've never seen high-level soccer.
Right.
You know, I've never been inspired by it, and I'm probably too old now.
But then again, we've never really been exposed to it. Because like I said, I'm not a soccer guy, but I don't think the MLS is probably like the 5th best league in the world. Maybe I'm running my mouth. I don't even know. Maybe it's not even in the top 10. I know it's not one of the top leagues. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's just so many better leagues out there. Worldwide, to where any other league in the U.S. is the best cream of the crop, like no debate.
Yeah, I think the only thing that gives the MLS credit is its lack of corruption, like with FIFA. Like FIFA is one of the most corrupt things.
More than the NCAA?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
it's bad. It's really bad. It's incredibly bad.
Mm.
But yeah, other than FIFA, I don't know. I mean, I know there's something called the Premier League, right? I think that's like where Man U plays. I don't fucking know. I know fuck all about soccer.
Yeah. No, we're so American and Midwestern in that sense, but hey.
I game with a lot of dudes from Europe. And they ask me opinions like what I think about shit going on, and I'm like, listen, man, we don't fucking care. Like Americans, we don't care.
Right.
Like you guys watch us all the time. You guys constantly consume our content, and you look at America through a lens, and we don't give a fuck about you guys.
Right.
And that's not to say we're better. Right. This is the mindset of your average American. We don't fucking care what happens in Europe.
No. No.
Most people didn't even know where Ukraine was before the war started. You know?
Right.
That'd be like you asking somebody from Ireland where Minnesota is.
Right.
They're like, I don't know, somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Somewhere up north. I think it's cold there.
Right.
That's about as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's how we approach everything. Yeah. Soccer, most of their music, unless their music hits big, right? And even then, it's not even that big of a thing anymore. It was.
No, I don't know.
Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. You had all these megalithic British bands that made it over here, but
right.
Who's the last big one? Rammstein? I know they're German,
I don't even know, man.
I'm just talking European.
I don't even think of like that genre of music of like being a thing anymore. Just because where music is gone nowadays with everything being like electronic and you know what I mean though? Just like the idea of like where we grew up, like there was a lot more like rock bands and like hardcore bands, and not saying they don't exist, but I don't know if the kids are really getting into that nowadays. They like that heavy commercialized music, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the internet kind of fucked everything. So you've got like pockets of music now instead of entire genres,
right?
So like there are small bands, like bands that are doing really, really well,
right?
But no one knows who they are unless you're in that circle, and then it's like that's your Beatles,
right?
That's your fucking Metallica. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like there's bands that are huge on TikTok,
right?
Millions of followers on TikTok,
right?
People like you and I have never heard of them, but they'll sell out First Avenue.
Right. No, that's so true. And like, I hate to be, I feel weird saying this. You can call me a bitch, call me out, but maybe that's because like MTV isn't a thing either. Because like, even though like, you know, I grew up like listening to punk rock, like, but MTV, they would have like a band and it would be on like the top 10 and it would be something that would be like Mark. It wasn't all just pop music that you would see on MTV. You know, they had like Matt Pinfield. Do you remember Matt Pinfield back in the day? Yeah.
Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know, like, I don't know. I remember seeing like Rancid interviews on MTV when I was a kid and that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
I remember him asking Scott Weiland why he sounded like Eddie Vedder, and Scott Weiland refused to ever do Headbangers Ball again because he was so insulted.
Yeah.
Because Matt Pinfield was a fucking boss.
Yeah. That guy was a legend.
Yeah, I remember all that. And I think you're right, by the way. You said call you out if I thought you were wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, because I hate to be the guy that's like,
I think
MTV, but
I think you're 100% right, dude. Yeah. Like, we don't have a centralized place to push music anymore.
Right.
Even with basically YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, it's 3 different platforms. There's no genre distinction. Like back in the day, you had VH1, and then you had MTV. And then you had country music television, CMT.
Yep.
And so it was like, here are your 3 genres.
Yeah.
So like MTV was where you got like pop, metal, and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
VH1 is where you got everything else except for country, and country music was where you got country music.
Yeah.
It was just so easy and straightforward to figure out, like,
dude, it was even strategic within the networks that would provide the channels. Because I remember, like, growing up, like, MTV was a channel, and if you flipped up one channel, it was VH1.
Yep.
Because you'd flip back and forth on commercials. You know what I mean? Kind of the same thing with, like, ESPN and, like, some of the sports channels.
Yeah, they
like
block them together.
Yeah. Everything was strategic in that sense.
Yeah, and I think MTV was channel 34 and VH1 was 35 on our cable station when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember for us it was like in the 50s, like 53 or 54. And then I remember even like when I had like a charter subscription when I was lived in Delano, a little bit further out west. There was like Fuse, and that was kind of cool because that was a little bit more alternative and rock and like hardcore and punk bands. But and I don't know many people that have like normal cable TV. Do you have normal cable TV? Do people even do that nowadays?
Now, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, just because it's such a small upcharge from my internet.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, well, I guess we have TV now. We have cable. And it's cool because you can watch it and stream it on your phone and shit now, too.
Is there music channels now?
Yeah.
Like you can flip on to see music videos?
Yeah.
What is the network? Do you even know what the network?
No, they're like
not on TV.
Well, I don't know about
VH1.
music videos. I don't know about music videos now that you mention it, but they do have music channels. Like,
right.
So you can go to like, and I don't know what it's like, provided by Comcast.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like channel 1400 something, but it's just like basically a radio station, and they've got hundreds of them.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've checked those out back when.
I don't think now that you say it though, I don't think they do have a good like music video.
Yeah, yeah, because music bands are always pushing out music videos. Like, but nowadays so many people are on YouTube, like myself included.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like everyone's just on YouTube.
No, I think you're right. I think you're 100% correct, dude.
It's going to be sad when there aren't any people that have ties to the North Stars aren't around anymore.
Oh, I know.
That's why it's like seeing old Lou Nanny around. It's just, I don't know.
I know, dude.
Big fan.
I feel like that was the biggest travesty of all time, though, was the North Stars never winning a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like an insane thing for me.
Yeah, they had a couple good years right before they dipped off. You know, and I don't even know what the official reason for Norm Green wanting to leave, whether it was
there was a whole thing.
Any more press boxes. I know sexual assault was involved in like, you know, accusations or whatever.
Yeah, so here's what it was. He was what the fuck is going on here? Why won't it let me? Oh, okay. There we go. So yes, there were sexual assault charges pending. The people of Minnesota no longer wanted him as the owner. He wanted to move the team to San Jose. Okay.
Yeah.
But the league didn't want him to move to San Jose, or the city of San Jose didn't want him, or something like that.
Right.
So the league approved San Jose to get an expansion team. They got the Sharks.
Right.
And then he somehow he sold the team. That's what it was. Or part of the team, or some weird shit went down where he was able to get the team moved down to Dallas, or like right after he got to Dallas, he had to sell the team or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what pisses me off is I think it was 93, and in 98 they won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
So it was just a few years after they left, they won the cup.
Well, it's just like when anything sells. I mean, I can kind of relate to this, but like when something switches hands, you like to have an agreement that the thing will stay local. Like if the North Stars would have been able to change, gotten better ownership, but kept the team in Minnesota. And I know that's asking a lot. That's not how business works, and who am I? But you'd like to have stipulations where it's like if it does change hands, they still have to, you know, you'd like them to stay in that market. But I don't know.
Yeah,
look at the Arizona Coyotes. You know, it's like,
if I remember it right, it was inevitable that the North Stars were leaving because we also didn't want to build them. There was also like this weird thing going on with sponsorships between Sprite and Pepsi and Coke. So like, I'm just gonna say I might have this backwards, but like Coke sponsored the North Stars, and Pepsi sponsored the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when they wanted to do the renovations for the Met Center, one of the proposals was temporarily the Wolves would go play, or the North Stars would go play in Target Center.
Mm.
But they couldn't come to an agreement as to how that drink sponsorship was going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the two companies had paid to be in Target Center, and then the other one was the official sponsor of the North Stars. And that was a major problem, literally. So that didn't happen. And then the state of Minnesota didn't want to put up the $30 million to renovate the Met Center to what it needed to be to keep up with league standards. $30 million. That's what this ended up being over.
Right.
And so they moved to Dallas. And then it was like 7 or 8 years later, around 2000-ish, we paid $1 billion. $1 billion between the expansion fee for the league and the Excel Center.
Right.
We didn't want to pay $30 million.
Yeah.
But 10 years later, it was okay to spend $1 billion. That's how fucking stupid the leadership of Minnesota is. This is why I've lost all sympathy or ability to trust Minnesota leaders. It's like, no, you're all idiots.
Right.
You're all fucking morons, and that's the best example why.
Right. No, yeah, just like in the Target Center, like when the Moose came in the AHL a couple years after, like they played at the Target Center, like that would have worked for hockey, you know. But I mean, and just to think though, like
they had already played hockey in the Target Center because the state hockey tournament had been there.
But just to think of Bloomington, like having the baseball field there, and then having the hockey rink there, and obviously eventually Mall of America, but like looking at that from an aerial point of view in the 60s, it was fucking cornfields. Just straight fucking cornfields. It's wild.
Yeah, the Vikings used to play down there in that stadium too, in Met Stadium.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, with the Twins. The Vikings played down there too. And
Bloomington was like the staple. Like
it was a dope spot, man. That was back when tailgating was a cool part of Minnesota sports. Now, with everything being downtown, I just think Minnesota sports sucks. And I understand why you do it. You move the teams downtown. It builds up downtown. It makes, I get it. But it's not an enjoyable experience. There is no tailgating at Wild games. That's just not a thing.
Yeah.
There is no tailgating at Wolves games. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks, dude.
Some of those markets in the NFL and just like what's probably the biggest market on tailgating in the NFL? Is it Buffalo? Is it weird that I think that?
No. I guarantee you it's either Green Bay or Kansas City.
Okay.
Think about it. They're like cornfield teams.
Yeah.
Their stadiums are out in the middle of nowhere. Right?
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, definitely the Packers. They're
tailgating and food are part of their football culture.
Right.
Especially, I think Kansas City is probably the biggest tailgating community in the NFL.
Right.
If not, I'd give it up to Green Bay. And if not, then I would probably guess Buffalo just because of the fucking fame that their fan base has. The Bills Mafia. Wild. Those guys are fucking nuts. I love watching the videos of the Bills Mafia when they miss the tables, when they like go to fucking WWE the tables and they miss them all together, and you just see like dude jump up and he's clearly lost the wind in his lungs.
Right.
Or the chick who just face plants and completely humiliates herself in front of a crowd of dudes.
NFL fans are just a special breed. Like to see guys throwing down and like people getting sucky bombed and like even women like getting in full stage brawls. Like they have that much pride in their team. To me, I don't know.
Just booze. I think it's just booze.
That's true. None of those situations are with sober people. Well, they're certainly not high.
But I will say there is something special about it because I don't think that I've ever seen that happen in hockey.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some pretty drunk hockey fans, but I ain't never seen a fight break out. Not in the stands.
Yeah, I mean, like in youth hockey with like crazy hockey moms and dads. But other than that, no, you're right, though. I don't know. I guess every type of sport has the different fans, but
all right, fucking game's finally on, bud. Now you can feel free to do as much play-by-play as you want, man.
No, not gonna happen.
I'll do commentary. You do play-by-play.
No.
No.
I've never called a game remotely though. That would be weird. Oh. Well, how about that?
Nice goal.
Erickson Act. I'm a hypocrite because honestly, a few years ago I was like, this guy's a first round pick. Like he hasn't. Boy, was I ever wrong. He's a beast.
Isn't it weird how in
I
hockey,
was so wrong.
In hockey, some of these guys take a while to bloom.
Right. And normally, yeah, I don't know. Shame on me. Just shame on me.
Wow, what a play, man. Here's your replay, guys. Can we get the replay going? No? Can we? Oh, there we go. You missed it. Sorry, guys.
Good for him. Love it.
There we go. Okay. I just want to make sure it was all working. All right, sorry. I'll try to get on these replays a little better for you guys. That was fucking nice, though, man. That was a nice little play to open the game. 36 seconds in.
Oh
now watch the game ends up being 1-0.
Oh my god, no. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
It's too hot. Dude. Hockey's a weird game, man. And I know, like I said at the beginning, I know fuck all about hockey compared to football. So
right.
All I know is that I wish we were playing Fleury more, but it sounds like they're just going to straight up go every other game.
Yeah, that's just the way the NHL is now. It's just a straight combo platter. And how about this?
Ooh.
Could probably hit the net there, but what are you gonna do? Yeah. Good start.
I do wish that we would have just called our team the North Stars, though.
And the Wild's a fucking horrible name. Sorry, everybody.
It is. It's such a dumbass name.
So dumb.
It is. It's a terrible name.
But yeah, the Capitals have a lot of Russians on their team, and
a lot of Russians.
Yeah. You know, Alex Ovechkin was like, you know, had a history with Putin, like them being boys.
Really?
That kind of stuff. Just like, you know, in the past. But so
I didn't know this. Go on.
Yeah. So his profile pic is like on Twitter. I don't know if it's switched, but like,
holy shit, they scored again,
dude. First goal with the Wild. What are we doing here? New guy. Trade deadline.
How much you want to bet if they score one more goal in this first period, they pull that goalie?
May as well. He might already be yanked. Is that our second shot, or am I just out of my mind crazy? Is that it?
So shots are shots, but shots on goal have to be deflected by the goaltender, right? So yeah, it's 2 shots.
2 for 2.
And when they measure shots down there, that's shots on goal, right? Yeah. When they actually measure the shots, that's not the actual shots. That's shots on goal.
Yeah. So many are getting deflected or blocked or whatever.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but I don't remember when, but there was a long time that I didn't know there was a difference. So, like, it was kind of news to me when I found out that shots on goal were different than shots, because shots on goal meant it would have been a goal if the goalie had not deflected it.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like there was a few years where I called games of the state tournament for the state at the state tournament, and they would provide you all the statistics, and it would be, you know, shots blocked and just the entire percentages, and it's amazing how many shots don't actually reach the net, like right there where one just hits a body in front.
Right.
But you can't even tell who it fucking hits.
Yeah, and
you can watch it on replay. Like I've called games with like a monitor in front of me, and you try and explain it, and you still can't tell who it fucking hit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And it'll still, like on his individual stat sheet, it'll still count as a shot, but not a shot on goal. So it'll affect his accuracy rating, but it won't affect the goalie save percentage or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I feel like hockey is one of the most convoluted sports out there. There's so many little things that I feel like it takes years to understand in this sport. Because I've been watching it my whole life, and I still don't really understand it the way, like I said, like I understand football.
Right. Well, like what you were saying earlier, like it's awesome that we get Fleury, and like, but we're gonna play Talbot. Awesome, but like I'm not as big as an NFL guy. Does any NFL team use one running back now? Like, isn't that always a combo situation? Like everyone has a fullback, no one really fucking uses them that much, but everyone rocks 2 running backs, right?
That's a great point, because
like teams
have always used 2 running backs, but it was very much like how you used to use 2 goaltenders, right? So you'd have your primary back, and then sometimes a team would have like a different back to come in on third down.
Right.
Other times it was, no, he's the backup running back in case this other guy gets injured. Now you're either seeing just a straight up tandem, or you're seeing 2 different running backs with 2 very distinctly different styles. So you'll have like a fucking thumper, and then you'll have a scat back. Yeah, like a Mike Allstott, Warren Dunn from back in the day would be a great example.
Right.
They were like the first and the only team to do that. Now that would be regular practice.
Right.
The Vikings are probably one of the only teams that's really trying to have like a feature back last year with Delvin Cook.
Like no one's ever going to rock 2 quarterbacks.
And I think that's what you were trying to explain to me earlier is like now teams are just straight up deploying 2 goalies where you used to have like your main guy and then your second goalie would come in on like the second night of a back-to-back.
Right.
Shit like that. But you're saying now they straight up rotate these motherfuckers?
Yeah, like most of the time, yeah. Like, which is crazy because there's guys that have played like 70, 75 plus games, like Grant Fuhrer back in the day, like, you know, just how the game's changed so much. But no one doesn't have a good number 2. I mean, even Patrick Waugh, even up into his era when he was with the Avalanche, I remember him having like, God, I can't remember how many. I think he had 30 wins on 60 starts or something like that, which that's still a lot. Oh yeah,
you know, that's 3 out of 4 games.
Oh yeah, no, that's insane.
I think that you guys, if you guys are watching the chat, you can look that up and fucking flame me in the comments if I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, everyone just rocks too. Like even just like in junior hockey, like we've, you know, there's been several times where we've had both goaltenders committed to Division I schools, and we
really.
And we had 3 goalies drafted within 2 years. So 2 goalies that were taken in 2018. And
off the Magicians you're talking about?
Yeah. And then one that was drafted in 2019.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, so I mean, at one point in time, we had 2 goalies in our team that were fucking drafted in the NHL. And one just signed with Vegas. He's only played 2 games so far, and he's in the AHL. Like, Vegas is making a playoff push, so he's probably not going to get a chance.
We should probably explain, for people that don't understand, the AHL is literally minor league hockey. They bought the AHL way back in the day and turned it into their minor league, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's like an affiliate player. So if like you were in the AHL, it'd be like AAA for baseball, right?
Yep.
And then like the AA league for hockey would be the ECHL. And then, you know, there's other leagues other than that. But that's basically like the 3 tiers of how hockey would work. But yeah, guys from the AHL getting opportunities to get called up. Every team has an affiliate, AHL and ECHL affiliate. Because a lot of the goalies will go down to the ECHL, like Devin Dubnyk, who was our goalie a few years ago. He played a bunch of games in the ECHL, a good amount.
I thought he was like fairly paid.
Guys are making $600 a week in that league. Keep in mind too, like under the AHL, like you're making $600 a week. You're playing a 72 game schedule. Like that's insane, man.
I mean, that's insane for being a pro athlete, right?
Right.
But that's still like if your team's paying for like your room and your board,
yeah, which they are.
That's not that bad of money if you think about it. Because I know a lot of people that work 40, 50 hours a week at grueling jobs, and they're barely taking home $600 a week. They are taking home, which means they're making a lot more than that because of taxes. But still, it's like, God, man, if I were young. Think about that. That's what I'm really getting at. Is like, just remember being 17, 18, 19. And
I thought if I made $40,000 a year, I could. Yeah, I thought $40,000 was a lot of money at one point. I was like, all I need to make is $40,000. I'll be set.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, fucking right.
At our
kid.
age, there was a time when $40,000 a year was a lot of money. Like I remember when I got a job making $10 an hour, and my parents were like, "Wow, that's really good money." Like they were only making 14, 15.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they were my parents.
Right.
They were kind of pissed because minimum wage was like $7. And so when I got 10, they were like, wow, that's good money. That's a good job. Keep that job.
Right.
I didn't keep that job.
Right. Yeah, it's sad.
I think I got fired.
$40,000 I thought that was a lot of money. That was, yeah, right. Good luck with that. Good luck with $40,000 in 12 months, the way shit is nowadays.
I know, right?
Yeah, right. It's just not realistic. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, there's definitely some financial secrets I wish I would have known in my early 20s. Because man, I'd be way more wealthy now, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not actually technically wealthy, not by American standards.
Yeah, just the way it works with like credit and stuff like that. I don't know. I just have a lot of friends that are in their 30s and they like still don't understand it. Not that I do, but the idea that you should work on it like isn't necessarily a bad idea. Because I have a lot of friends that just don't,
Yeah.
whatever it is, but I don't know. There's things you can do to help out. It's just it's a weird system and how it works. I didn't know fuck all about any of that shit until I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'm just in the last 5 to 7 years really starting to learn and understand like how easy it is to make large amounts of money if you actually know what you're doing. And the first thing it takes is to have a little bit of money to invest in certain things.
Yeah.
And that's the
it.
big thing is like I wish I wouldn't have fucked off all my money in my 20s because I was making crazy good money in my 20s and I thought I would make that money and more forever. Right. I didn't anticipate those downturns, and if I would have invested that money properly, I'd have several million in the bank by now. And this isn't even a joke, dude. This isn't even a fucking lie. Like there's ways you can break this down to where you can do it you have to put it in the right accounts. And I'm still not an expert at this because I'm still just learning about it, but it's something like, I think it's like 7 or 8 years. At like 7 or 8 years at like $150 a paycheck or something like that.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, assuming. So it's like $300 a month. I think that's what it is. I think it's like $300 a month for 8 years in the right account, and you'll have $1 million by the time you're like, God, I think it's, you put it in for 8 years, and then I think like a year or two later, it hits that little, because it's like, here's the idea, right? It sounds unbelievable, but if you double $1 20 times, it's $1 million.
Right.
Yeah, so like 1 is 2, 2 is 4. You do that 20 times, you end up with $1 million. That's insane.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I would have known that shit way younger, dude. That's why I don't understand how these professional athletes go broke. You know what I mean? They're making literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah,
and they can't put a little bit away.
Yeah, that's the joke right now in the NHL because I think the league minimum is like $750K.
Yeah.
And they call it the Buffalo Special just because the Buffalo Sabres have so many players signed at the league minimum. You know what I mean? Which is, I'll take the Buffalo Special any day. $750K, you're doing just fine. But then you think about what market you live in too, right? So if like you say you play for the Dallas Stars and it's like, it's not taxed as much as if you play for the New York Rangers, or California.
Yeah.
Because I bet $750K, I bet, the government's going to get a good portion of that. And you're playing for the San Jose Sharks.
I mean, New York.
Do you think, which one do you think's more tax higher? California?
I have Definitely California.
Okay.
It has to be California. There's no way it could be anywhere else other than California. But I guarantee you number 2 is either Chicago or New York.
Right.
Or I should say Illinois or New York.
Yeah, agents are working that into their contracts. Because, so if you can, get it in a state where you don't have an income tax or whatever, it's a lot more money.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's been a thing for a long time in the NFL. Players wanting to go to Florida.
I bet it's bad to go up in Canada too. I mean, obviously the market's bad just because they're on you. You go -3 in a game and there's like 60 people waiting outside your stall, and they want to talk to you about the game. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Trivia. What do you think has a higher population?
Oh shit!
The state of California or the entire country of Canada?
I mean, I had to say Canada because it's a whole country with like Toronto and like, is it really Cali?
It's California.
Dude, fuck it.
It's California, bro, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like it's actually more comparable to just LA. The greater LA area has like 30 million people in it.
Yeah.
That's basically what all of Canada has. Is about 30. I think it's 33 million people or something like that. Yeah, dude. Isn't that insane, dude?
That's wild.
There's one little strip on the side of our country.
It's a shitty strip.
And their taxes are insane up there.
Yeah, it's a shitty strip. That's why fucking U-Haul doesn't even have any trailers left. Everyone took them to fucking leave. No one's bringing them back. No one's moving to California right now.
Yeah, when the housing bubble breaks, it's going to start in California because of that, because of everybody bailing, and they're not going to be able to keep those prices up, because just like anything else in capitalism, supply decides demand, right? And vice versa, well, when you already have houses,
right,
and there's not enough people to rent them out or buy them,
right,
you have to lower the prices in order to get people. Well, when you do that, houses are dictated by the market. So what is other houses like this selling for in the area?
Right.
Well, yours was worth $5 million, but now you only sold it for $2 million.
Yeah.
So now mine's only worth $2 million. But if I can't sell mine at $2 million and I have to drop it down to 1.5, now all the other ones in the area are only worth 1.5.
Are you saying that you can't be a progressive home flipper? Just a left-wing home flipper? You know what I mean? Oh my god. Oh my god.
We flip sustainable housing.
Yeah.
Dude, we should start a show. That's what it is. It's like,
oh my god,
we create two super left-wing characters and they try to flip homes. But when they do it, they're constantly telling people that everything's overvalued and it's not really worth it and they should be giving it away. Yeah, I'm not against gentrification like everyone else is. Because gentrification saves shitty neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You just don't want gentrification to go too far to where it displaces anybody with a reasonable amount of money.
Right. No, anything to turn shit around for the comes with the mullets, whatever. They drink fucking good coffee.
If it comes with the mullets.
They just have weird haircuts, but I mean, whatever. They're friendly people.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty non-threatening.
Easy targets for the riffraff. You know what I mean? You can look at it that way, too. I'm sure they don't mind.
Rob these guys.
Robbing people that don't fight back is way, you know.
Yeah, robbing people that are visually, just by looking at them, you can tell that they're anti-gun.
Right. Easy target, yeah. Sometimes you go to fuck with someone and you don't realize they've had a really fucking bad life and they're fucking going to sleep praying for a fight at night. You know what I mean? Especially now with the people that can do jujitsu. Like a guy can just look like he could be the most non-threatening thing, whatever, and then he like, you know, all of a sudden you're getting kicked in the forehead.
Have you seen that video? Have you seen that video on Instagram of the grown-ass woman losing to the little girl in jujitsu? And then getting kind of shitty about it afterwards.
Oh, no.
So, like, the grown woman, she's in the standing up position, and the girl's on the ground, on her butt, you know, in the ready spot, like, come at me, bitch. And the grown-ass woman comes in and grabs her face and just slams her back, right?
Yeah,
Which is fine. It's jiu-jitsu, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a dick move also.
Oh, yeah.
Like you would do that in a normal situation, but when you're twice the size and age of your competitor, it's kind of what are you doing?
Yeah,
like
you're
toying with this kid now? Like,
right.
And then she goes in, and the kid, I don't know the move. I'm not a jiu-jitsu expert. I only took a few classes, but the kid fucking wraps her up. They roll over a couple times, and they're both like bunched up in a ball, and all of a sudden, the little girl wins. And the fucking adult gets out of there, and she's like, "When I tap, you need to let go." And the girl's like, "I did. I tried. I didn't."
Yeah.
You know?
She was all salty.
And she's like, "No, you need to learn when somebody taps." And I tapped. And she's like really pissy about it. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. You're a grown ass woman. You're just mad you lost to a girl, little girl.
Just like some of these, you know, it could be a gas station clerk, and he, you know, all of a sudden he like puts you in an arm bar. Like you just don't know nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, you do not know.
Yeah, and that was a perfect example of what you're talking about, because that's literally a little girl.
And
her dad probably put her in jiu-jitsu because he's like, you ain't getting raped.
That
ain't never happening. Yeah. Because that's exactly... I mean, it's a little girl. What's less threatening than literally a little girl who's, 12?
Right.
I got to find that video and send it to you, because it's all over, like, the MMA.
Yeah. Good for her.
Twitter.
Good for her. Best stories about a bully is a bully.
Yeah, I don't know, man. 894. I don't know if Ovechkin's got that many years left.
Oh, he'll get it.
He's still almost 200 goals away.
But he's averaging like 40 a year. Oh, you almost got one here. So yeah, his profile pic is like a picture of him and Putin. So you can't really take that down.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Talking about this.
So his family's over in Russia, so you can't just get rid of it.
Right.
Then they might get rid of his family. Am I insane for saying that?
No, I don't think so. It's got to be a legit fear. I know Kaprizov's Russian, our
So-
guy.
A lot of people from Russia don't have a problem with Putin.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of them are very
They have-
easily fooled.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. But I know Kaprizov is Russian, and I was listening to this dude talk about he wanted out of Russia all along. Before the fucking war ever broke out, he was already here.
Right.
We had already re-signed him, but they've had tension and shit like that brewing over there for years.
Yeah.
And so he's real happy to be out of that country now.
Oh yeah. Like even some of the junior players. Like what's crazy is the players that are Ukrainian that are playing hockey in North America or any sport. I think I was watching Fordham, the Division I basketball team, and they had a player from Ukraine.
Really?
But his family got out, which was nice. And there's another guy that plays for Alaska, the Division I team, the Canucks, Panasenko, and his family, they got out right away, which was nice. But imagine being here and like not knowing if your family, that'd just be terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know how you
Super
can concentrate on
Yeah.
hockey or basketball or anything when, you don't know if you're gonna get a phone call saying Grandpa's gone in a shelling.
Right. I don't think there are any active Ukrainian players in the NHL. There's been I think 30 all time. I think there's a couple. There might be a couple in the A.
Crazy.
A bunch of Russian players.
Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna end up going in the long run. Because you know how fucking shitty people are now. I mean,
Yeah.
they pull Russian vodka off the shelves, they banned Russian cats from that one pet show.
Right. Yeah, it's sucks for the people that get hurt by the sanction.
You know damn well those owners, though, they're like, you ain't getting rid of my Russian players. I got games to win.
Right. It just sucks. You hope most of them, you can't bring your entire family over, I guess, too, from that perspective. You know what I mean? If you think about it, if you grew up, you played junior, you get drafted, you come over here. Say you have your wife and your kids, but it's what about her mother? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have kids, so I don't know. But I
Me neither,
imagine,
yeah.
I imagine you would go, well, as long as I get my kids over here, my kids can then go on to have kids, and the family line can live on.
Right.
But yeah, I would imagine then if you're trying to get more than just your kids, you'd want your parents, her parents, maybe the grandparents. Yeah, where does it stop? Brothers, sisters,
Right. You want
cousins.
the whole fucking clan, but is it even feasible? And then a lot of people don't want to fucking leave, which I understand.
I
know?
wouldn't leave.
I ain't leaving here.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I actually am leaving.
For real?
Fuck this place, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna move 30, 40 minutes east, right across the river,
Are
right
you?
into Hudson. Yep.
Oh no, but I mean another country.
Oh
yeah.
I
don't know.
And then we're gonna snowbird our asses down to Texas. We wanna start fanning out and getting some rental properties, and we're gonna use that. We're gonna fucking grab a place down in Texas because we want to be able to be mobile back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea of just leaving this country entirely.
Fuck that, dude. There is no other country that's actually better than
Uh.
America.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of hearing that shit. Oh, fuck that, I'm moving to Canada.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Trudeau.
They don't want us.
Trudeau.
They
He
don't
seems
want
legit,
us.
right?
And that's the other thing. You talk about not you, but people talk about America's immigration policy, blah, blah, blah. It's it's still one of the easiest countries to get into legally.
Yeah.
Go ahead, try to move to Canada. Watch how fucking hard it is.
Right.
And then you'd be like, man, I thought I could just go there. No, you guys are all fucking nuts.
Yeah, the taxes, I don't know what the numbers are, but I'd imagine they're just insane up there. I just feel like Trudeau's wants his fair share. I just get that sneaking suspicion.
Well, dude, the biggest thing for me is free speech. Like, we have free speech. Yeah. The guns are a pretty cool thing, too, but the biggest thing is free speech. Like, there's motherfuckers going to jail in other countries for making jokes.
Right.
Like, I ain't down with it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get slapped in our country for making jokes, but at least you don't go to jail.
That's why the idea of being, like, ultra progressive is just, like, entertaining. Like, the idea that you're even in a position to be able to complain about it. I mean, I'm just like everyone else. I complain, but I mean, some of the shit they did just goes too far.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, dude. So we're getting outshot, man, but it looks like we're outplaying them by a lot. And I'm wondering if this is just that classic come out hot in the first period.
It's so awesome. We got such a big fucking mean team with like getting Delaurier and fucking Foligno. Like, we just have a big mean team. Like, no one can take liberties with any of our smaller guys. Perfect mix. You just got the Tendy. It'd be cool.
See, I'm telling you, Ovechkin doesn't seem like the same player. Like, he's definitely lost a step or something. He's not the same player he once was. And he's still got almost 200 goals before he breaks Gretzky's record. I don't know, brother.
Dude, he's a tank. He's going to play past the age of 40 for sure.
How old is he now?
36 right now. I think he's 36. Yeah, I think he's going to get it. Hopefully, because no other Wayne Gretzky's records are going to get fucking broken. No one's going to get fucking 92 goals in a year. I tell you that for, you know.
We were talking about that earlier. 92 goals in a single season. That is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's not going to. I mean, even getting in the 80s, guys like Brett Hull and Mario Lemieux were scored. I think Hull had 87 one year, Lemieux got 80. That shit's never gonna fucking happen.
Pull that a little closer to me.
That shit's never gonna happen again. Matthews just hit 50. I don't know how many games are left in the year.
20?
Fuck. It'd be unreal if he got 70.
Is it 20 games left?
I'm not sure. But yeah, just the idea of getting 50. The kid was born in Arizona. It's insane. Doesn't even matter. There's no such thing as a non-traditional hockey market anymore.
NHL. Let's just do standings, and I'll just.
There's like 10 games left.
That's it?
Roughly. 10, 11,
15.
12.
There's 15 games left.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's still 82, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15
most
games
teams
left
have played like higher 60s, upper 60s.
Yeah, the Wild are a little bit behind, right? Because of COVID or something? Something happened?
We played 67, so we're a couple back. But like the Jets have played 70, so they have 12 games left. Everyone else has played like upper 60s.
Yeah. Looks very realistic that the Wild score 100 points this season, which is going to be insane. I think we've only done that once before.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Dean Evison, our coach, like he seems like such a badass.
So tell me what makes a great hockey coach. Like, what is it? Because when we switch coaches, which we do all the time,
yeah,
I don't know the difference. I can't tell, like. Because I know so little about hockey in the real world of the game, I can't tell the difference of the impact the actual coach is making. Like, where is it? Just the line combinations and when to call those line changes? Is it strategy? Is it technique? Do they shift what they practice? Like, what makes one coach great versus another coach, especially when they switch a mid-season and shit?
Well, I think just the new blood. A lot of times, like some coaches are a little bit more restrictive as far as like how you can play, and then a guy like Bruce Boudreau who took over in Vancouver just let guys play. So like the higher skilled guys like Peterson and Brock Besser, you know, were able to be a little bit more creative. Sometimes coaches can hold you back in that sense, but the idea of just like having that respect and like having the players want to compete for you, and like the stereotypical thing is like to get players to go through a wall for you. that kind of thing, to where like Evason has the respect of everybody on that team. You know, so it's just basically that idea. They'll do anything for him, and we have such a big, mean team. Like, grit is such a big part of our game, and like even watching Dean Evason's demeanor on the game, like there's a lot of memes of him like celebrating. And like the other day, he celebrated and he like did a fist pump, and it looks like he's punching one of our assistants in the face.
Oh, really?
Like he's just one of those guys. And like after we win in a shootout, they'll go to the bench and he'll be all red faced and he'll just be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, boys!" And he's just like, you know, so he's just got that respect. And then there's some of the idea of like being a hockey coach nowadays is so much more difficult too, because there's people that, like someone like me, where you need to shake and like yell and scream at, and there's other people you kind of have to coddle, you know, because the younger generation is way different, and the NHL's gotten so much younger now. Like if you're 30 in the NHL now, you're considered old. Like the average age in the NHL is just, it's not what it once was. When I was a kid and I followed the NHL, like it wasn't a big deal if you were 35.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Football's gone the other way. Football is the exact opposite. So back in the day, if you were 30 years old as a quarterback, you were considered old. You only had a few years left.
Right.
Now, and when Warren Moon played, he was 40 years old, that was insane.
yeah.
And then it was years later before the next guy did it. And I think it was Brett Favre. Might have been somebody else, but Brett Favre was the next big one to play. Now you're seeing players play into their late 30s on a regular basis. Tom Brady's over 40. Aaron Rodgers will play late if he wants to. He could. Matt Ryan's getting up there. He's still playing at a high level. Peyton Manning was playing at a high level. Drew Brees was playing. They're
all quarterbacks, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's even true, though, for other positions as well. Like, guys are just lasting longer. The good ones. The really good ones. Average career in the NFL is still only 3.5 years.
Insane.
What is it in hockey? Because hockey's also weird, because there's guys that spend their entire career and never actually make it to the NHL.
Yeah, I don't know what the average career would be, but a lot of them are definitely short-lived. You get called up, can't really make an impact. A lot of guys that aren't like more serviceable in the NHL, like smaller players that are highly skilled, can go play in Europe and make really good money. That's what's good about hockey.
That's what it seems like happens in basketball a lot too.
Some of those European leagues are crazy.
They go over to Europe.
Yeah, they're entertaining. I've watched some of those leagues. Like they actually play defense. Like it's real ball. To where here in the NBA, sometimes it's a little lackluster in game 40 of 82 on a Wednesday evening. Yeah. I'm not a big NBA guy.
Neither am I.
But
I think we talked about that earlier. I like the Minnesota teams. So like I'll watch the Gophers. I'll watch women's Gophers basketball. I don't mind it. I'll watch the Wolves and I'll watch the Lynx if they're on, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I end up at like fucking Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that, I'll watch it if it's on, if it's up there.
Yeah.
But it's just like with baseball. If it's not a Minnesota team, I'm not watching it. But dude, when I was in Texas, I took a trip down to Texas a while back. I just went down there for a few days, which by the way, I don't know if you've ever done that. You ever do just like short weekend travel?
No, I haven't really.
Dude, I'm thinking that's the secret.
I guess I've gone up to Duluth a few times.
No. I mean like jump on a plane and go across the country, but just for like a weekend.
Done that.
Dude, so I went down to Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, it was north of Dallas, but I went down to Texas to scout podcast locations because I have a group of people down there I want to do a run of podcasts with. So I had to figure out like, how am I going to do this? Where am I going to do this? Like logistically.
Yeah.
So I flew down there on a Friday, hung out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and flew back Monday morning. It was fucking great. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the coolest thing. The whole trip was like $400 and something bucks.
Yeah.
It's like I've spent that in a weekend in Stillwater.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like got a nice hotel room on the river.
Yeah.
Drinks, dinner, boom, there's $400 on a weekend. Easy.
Oh, yeah. You can't even leave your house nowadays without spending $100.
I'm telling you, dude,
insane.
like I wish that's the only other thing. And I did a lot of cool shit as a musician, but I do wish I would have traveled more internationally. Like that's the only thing I wish I would have done a lot more in my 20s was done international travel.
Yeah.
Like I wish I already had Japan under my belt and Ireland under my belt and like I can't wait till I have some fuck you money again.
I've never even left the States.
Never?
Never, no.
It's good for people. I'm telling you, it's good
Yeah.
for you. Because you'll either more here's how I describe it. You'll either more deeply understand the things you already know.
Mhm.
You'll just understand them to a deeper level, or it'll completely change the way you think about the world. Because it does a lot of things. One of the things it'll do for a lot of people is they realize people are the same everywhere. There's good people and there's shitty people.
Right.
And a lot of the things that we hold dear to us as our differences are completely arbitrary and made up, because humans are humans.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what country you're from.
Right.
The other thing it'll also do for you, though, is if you travel right, is there's things that will fucking break your brain. And you'll be like, I never even thought about this or that in this way, or I've never seen anybody do this before. Like, like people think, you hear this a lot, but it really hits home when you realize, like, my world is not the world. Right. America is not the world. This is just the way we do shit here.
Yeah.
And you'll catch yourself like, oh man, we don't do that. That's dumb. And it's like, yeah, that is dumb. But they do shit that is way smarter than us. So like, you'll come across something later in that same trip and you'll be like, oh my God, like we should be doing this back home. Like this is way cooler. Yeah. Yeah. It's because again, people are people. So you'll see a really smart person doing some stupid shit and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Have you been around the world much?
I've been to Jamaica a couple times.
Nice.
And I've been to Canada, but that doesn't really count when you're from Minnesota and you just go across the border. That doesn't really count. But no, I haven't really been out of the country. But I've been to Jamaica a couple times, and even just being there, because the thing that's really cool about Jamaica is it's a place where other people from the rest of the world also travel. Mm-hmm. So you meet a bunch of Italians, you meet some French people, a lot of British people.
Right.
You meet a lot of people that travel to Jamaica for their vacation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fucking dope place, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. We got better weed here now. I pissed a lot of Jamaicans off my second trip. Because the first trip I went down there, I was a teenager. I was 19. And they had way better weed than we do up here back then.
Yeah, yeah.
But around that same time, guys were taking seeds from Jamaica, bringing it back here in Canada specifically. And they were learning and developing hydroponics and learning how to grow it indoors and like becoming like science nerds about the. We were kind of making fun of science nerds earlier, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or the weed nerds or whatever. And they learned how to make it so good in Canada. Jamaica never caught up. So when a lot of Canadians vacation in Jamaica, they bring their own weed.
Oh, geez.
They smuggle weed into Jamaica. It's fucking hilarious, dude. So I was down there the second time and I was trying to buy some weed and they kept giving me this like dirt weed. And I was like, no, I want the good weed. And they were like, this is the best weed on the island. And everybody kept saying they had the best weed on the island. And it was all basically the same
all
weed.
the same shit, yeah.
And then finally one guy, he's like, I know what you want. You want like the nug. You want like the really. And I'm like, yeah, dude. So he fucking brings me a jar, like a big jar. And I'm like, yeah, I see it from afar. I'm like, that's what I want. And then I look at it and I'm like, bro, I grow better weed than this in my basement. And he was so insulted. He's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. There's no way. This is Jamaican weed. This is grown outdoors. It doesn't get better than this. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
The world of weed has changed. Yeah. Like, you guys are no longer good at this.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really hard to have conversations with Jamaicans about weed. And then there was this one group of Jamaicans that were really fucking cool. Yeah, so I was trying to teach them how to do a hydroponic setup. I like drew out a diagram for them. And I even like grabbed one of their phones and like found some YouTube links and saved them into his phone. And I'm like, watch these when you get on Wi-Fi. Because they're regular internet. They don't have like 4G, 5G or whatever.
Well, it's like all the weird science nerds now work in like the marijuana industry. So yeah, it's, I don't know. It's cool for them. They have like an avenue. Everything that involves it has to do with science. And that type of shit. I don't know. That was like one of my worst subjects when I was a kid. That's why I don't know. I don't know much about it. I really don't.
I was pretty good at science, but I didn't get into it like those kids did. That usually I find comes down to teachers, though.
It always does.
Teachers,
it always does.
Yeah, and I feel like that's
yeah.
your job as a teacher, right? Your job is to figure out a way to make this subject exciting for every kid in that class.
Right.
If you're only connecting with one or two kids who have a natural affinity for your subject, like science or chemistry or history or whatever, then you're not doing your job. Because those kids were going to be interested regardless. All you had to do is show up and give them a book.
That's a good point, because I was like really into history and English, and I had fucking good teachers. They were fucking good teachers. They just were. It makes a big difference.
Like, if you're trying to teach kids, especially young kids, about like English and like the way to like put emphasis on certain words and what commas mean and where and why, instead of using the classic English textbook, use a modern day phrase. Right. Use slang, use shit that they like, low key. Don't say secretly, say low key.
Right.
Use vernacular that they understand on how to build a proper phonetic, or not phonetic, but grammatical sentence. It's not rocket science, but I don't know. Fucking teachers are on strike again.
Yeah, I see them with their signs when I'm in Minneapolis.
I mean, I do think teachers should be paid more. My biggest problem with it is we already fund the public school systems a lot, and the money never gets to the classrooms. It gets gobbled up by the admin. And a lot of the teachers that are teachers aren't good teachers, and they don't deserve more money.
Right.
They actually should go find different jobs, because they only, a lot, and I'm sorry, a lot of teachers, I can tell, because I went to school for 12 fucking years, a lot of them are clearly just there because they get 3 months off during the summer.
Right. Yeah, in like New York, they broke down the tax dollars, and it was over $20,000 per student.
That's what we...
Not here in Minnesota.
No, but
in
nationally.
New York.
Oh, in New York.
Just in New York. Because like they were complaining about money, and it's like, where is this money going? Like the idea, like that you wouldn't want teachers to make more money. That's not necessarily the issue. It's not all that money's going to where it should go. You know what I mean? Just like anything, like big administration or whatever it is. Like you definitely see that with colleges.
100%.
But like even where I live in Mound, like the superintendent of the school district was making like $178,000 a year.
Damn.
Like, excuse me? $178,000 a year. I'm sure that I could get like a few more books.
Maybe
maybe
in New
some more
York,
computers.
In New York, $178,000 ain't that much.
No, this is in Mound.
Oh, this is in Mound, Minnesota.
Yeah, like 20 minutes west of here.
That's too much for Mound. That's too much.
Like of the district, and like there's hundreds of districts.
Right.
The idea that I don't know.
Go ahead, dude.
But yeah, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem. Is I'm not okay with just funding things more.
Right.
Because throwing money at problems, especially giving the money to the government first, so they can turn around and give it to other people. That's what I don't like.
Right.
I almost wish we would simplify that process of our taxpayer dollars going from here to the source. I wish we could simplify that instead of it having going to the government first, where we have to pay a bunch of government employees to distribute that money to these places who have a bunch of employees to distribute it. So by the time the money makes it to the classroom, it's gone.
You don't want them to send it overseas?
Preferably not.
Are you a radical for saying that?
My favorite thing to do now while I'm gaming is just accuse everybody of being fucking Russian sympathizers. Yeah, I've been calling people commies for a few years now because I think it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Just to randomly call somebody a commie. Fuck you, commie.
Oh, yeah.
Especially my buddies and shit. Especially if they're left-leaning at all. If they even lean slightly left.
Right.
We'll get into a debate and I'll be like, whatever, commie. They get so mad, dude. But
it's worse when they don't get mad. They're like, yeah, and you're like,
I've had friends that are like, yeah, I'm a little bit of a Marxist. And I'm like, bro, you're lucky. I'm one of the dudes who, like, I'm okay with you having insanely different beliefs.
Right.
Because, like,
I like the diversity of thought. I got the buddies on all different angles, and I don't know. None of them are too crazy or too wild, but
I got a lot of friends that are pretty extreme on both sides. I got friends that are straight up communists. Like,
right.
They're straight up communists. And then I got buddies who are fucking essentially anarchist libertarians. I don't have any friends that are on the far right, though.
No, I don't really either, but some people nowadays, it's just, I don't know. A lot more of my friends are just become libertarian once they realize that like both parties are pro-war. It's like it's hard to kind of find a home. So a lot more of my buddies are just becoming more libertarian minded. Myself included. It's horrible.
It's interesting because I've always been very anti-war, right? Mm-hmm. But it was always when we seemed to be the aggressor, because in our lifetime we haven't seen a truly justifiable situation for us to go to war.
No.
It always seemed like some weird fucking perverted, money grubbing fucking bullshit. But now with this Russia shit, man, it's got me really like reconsidering a lot of things. Like the boogeyman is real. The Russian threat is real. The Chinese threat is real.
Right.
Like there's a reason we've outspent everyone on military because, as much as we don't want to go to war with Russia directly because of obvious escalation factors, you know who else doesn't want us to go to war with Russia? Russia.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, they're fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Because other than nukes, they don't stand a chance. Our firepower is so overwhelmingly superior, it's ridiculous. And people go, yeah, but they have way more soldiers. Irrelevant. We don't have that kind of military anymore. We're not sending 50,000 troops onto the beaches of Normandy like we used to.
Right.
No, we've got fucking jets, we've got drones, we've got special ops forces.
Right.
Like, we drop ordnance from distance.
It's just so scary to think like the end of civilization. In that sense, I mean,
I do think he's dropping a nuke. I think he's going to nuke Poland. I think he's going to nuke Warsaw, and it's going to scare the shit out of everybody in the world, including him and his own people. And I think, I think it's all inevitable, but I don't think it's going to escalate to a nuclear holocaust. I don't think they're going to launch all the nukes. I think he's going to launch a baby nuke into Warsaw as like a warning shot,
right?
And yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
Oh, it's so terrifying.
I know, it's fucking scary. But I'll tell you this, man. I may not be the biggest dude in the world, and I may be not in my physical prime, but if we go to war with Russia, like, I'm going. Like I'm going. I have to. Like, we have to win that war. We can't risk not winning that war. No. You know what I mean? Like, we can't. Like, calling all cars. Fucking... I have to.
Jeez, I wish they could just come to an agreement. Oh, it's scary. Scary politicians, the world leaders. Doesn't make you feel very good about anything or optimistic about the future.
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to save money. I don't know if that's really going to do you any good. For real, though, you know what I mean? You try and be responsible, right? It's all about individual responsibility. It's like, you've been being individual responsible. If that becomes irrelevant, you're like,
So what do you think the Wild got to do to keep this lead up?
Keep doing what they're doing.
What's like Jim Lilledahl's keys to the second period?
They're just big and mean. Just keep playing big.
Is it
mean.
Lilledahl or Lilledahl?
Lilledahl. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your keys to the second period?
Just keep doing what they're doing. Banging bodies. They need some more shots on net. They're doing fine, though. They already got the lead. Keep the foot on the gas pedal. I haven't been paying attention that much, honestly.
Nah, neither have I. I mean, we scored 2 goals and then it kind of
away.
Then it kind of calmed down. Yeah. It's just been this dead back and forth.
Sunday games are weird. Isn't anything.
I think they got to keep skating hard, put pucks on the net. Just really just keep playing tough. Putting bodies on the net. Be strong on the forecheck, and just skate hard, and hopefully the bounces go our way. Like the most cliche generic, but that's all they ever say.
Yeah, it's every hockey interview. It's yeah.
Like, I wish they would just be more like, we got to improve our passing. Like, our passing has been atrocious. If we can shore up our passing and prevent them from doing X, Y, and Z, I think we can win this game. But it's never that. It's always the same shit.
Yeah, it's so boring. Like that's why guys don't want to get fucking interviewed. Like a lot of times it just sucks.
In between periods and shit.
Yeah, like
I understand why they did it, but it's dumb. It's
like
so
NBC does
dumb.
it in like the middle of the periods and like I don't know, which is kind of funny though, because like Daryl Sutter will like fuck with them and give them one-word answers, and then they'll only have like 3 questions, and then they rattle like 3 in the first 10 seconds, and they're like, fuck. They gotta get creative. But there's some real characters in the NHL. That Daryl Sutter, the Calgary coach, is so entertaining.
Is he?
Just straight up like Calgary cowboy.
So it seems inevitable that the Wild are going to the playoffs. Would you agree?
Yeah.
How far do you think they actually get?
Oh, geez. At least past the first couple rounds. At least past the first round.
That's what I'm thinking, too. I'm
You'd
thinking
like to
it's
think.
almost guaranteed we get past the first round. About as close to a guarantee as you can get in sports to get past the first round. The second round, I'm not nearly as confident about. And I have zero confidence we actually make it to the Cup. But if we're going to, this is, I think, the best chance we've ever had.
Yeah, the big beefy, like the big heavy teams win in the playoffs, and like that's totally us right now. Like I mentioned earlier with Foligno and Delarier.
Seems
We
like
just
we're
got a
pretty
lot of
fast too
punch.
still, though.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
big, but we're not slow.
Yeah. But just with like Greenway and even Eriksson Ek, like all these guys are, I don't know. We have a perfect mix of everything. Kaprizov is so special. It'd be awesome if he could get.
That was a
50.
hell of a goal right there.
Yeah, right off the drop. That's fucking awesome. Talbot's playing good. I didn't even see what the shot totals were in that first.
Well, and
period.
I think I'm not sure who made that pass, but that was a gorgeous pass.
And then Jost gets his first as a Wild. Came over in the deadline.
Where'd we get him from?
Might have been with Colorado. I'm not even sure where he was. Yeah, he's with Colorado.
If you got to pick the matchup for that first round, who do we match up against? Who would you prefer to play in the first round of the playoffs?
Oh, geez. I mean, I don't even know how the standings, how it works now, and who they'd match up against in the first round.
Yeah, we can't run into the Avalanche, but honestly, I would say them. If I got to just pick it, fuck the standings. You just pick your opponent. I would say the Avalanche because it seems like we have their number in the playoffs,
that's so
especially.
scary. That team's so good right now.
But in the playoffs, I'm not afraid of them.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gonna be fucking heartbreaking if nothing does happen, if they don't get past the first round after going all in on Fleury and all that.
I agree, but at least they didn't waste a lot on Fleury.
Yeah, that's true.
What was it, a third round pick?
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Or a second rounder?
He wanted. There were other teams that wanted him. He wanted to come here, which is awesome. Obviously, he had like a relationship with Bill Guerin. They played together in Pittsburgh. Billy
Is that our
G's-
GM?
Yeah, he seems like the coolest fucking guy.
So what are you gonna do now that you're not rocking with the magicians?
I'll still work with MediaCom. That's MC22. They do some of the magicians. They were doing some of the magicians games. I've done boxing with them in the past. Hopefully, I'd like to get that moving again. There's still like club fights in Minnesota and that kind of stuff. We did a couple fights with second out, or a couple of cards with seconds out promotions a few years back. So hopefully get that moving again. But yeah, hopefully just freelance and get some stuff moving. But with the team leaving the city,
Oh, come on. There was no goalie in the net.
right? Yeah, there was nowhere to go. Should have done the Michigan right there.
What's the Michigan?
That's where they're scooping it up behind the net and they're doing the lacrosse thing.
Oh, yeah.
That Zegras kid for Anaheim's done it like 2 or 3 times this year, actually. The other day, he did it around his own guy. Yeah, his like own guy was in the corner of the post, and he fucking grabbed it and looped it around. The first guy that did it was like a guy that played for the Michigan Wolverines. I think it was in 1997, and it was a game against the Gophers. So he had it here, and he put it down, and he fucking just wrapped it around like he would a lacrosse.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't really flat-footed there. His feet were still moving. He didn't have much space. He wasn't able to do it there, but because typically you don't want to chase a guy behind the net.
Right.
He just comes out the other side. You're fucked.
Oh, what a save! Oh, I turned the graphic off. My bad, guys. Let's see if we can get you the replay on this. This was a heck of a play. I actually thought they were going to score right here. Here we go. Here's your replay, guys. So close. Man, that's
Whose
another
stick
thing.
ended up in the net. Oh, he just let go of
His
it.
own. That's another thing I've noticed this year that seems to be different. Well, actually, not just this year, but now versus even earlier this season. But really, something I've noticed over the years is the Wild. Two things, really. Our passing is significantly better this year than I've ever seen it. Like, I've never seen so many good passes. And then number two is our power play. It's the way we play on our power play. For years, the Wild players would just like pass it around, maybe get a shot or two off.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, dude, they pass, shoot, rebound, shoot.
Yeah, that's what I like about Coach Evison. He's just like a simple, old school fucking coach. Like I said, like with the grit and just like the go north attitude. It's just a simple game. Like nothing's too pretty. He doesn't accept that. Like you have to finish your checks. You have to be responsible. Very simple minded. Those are the guys that you want to play for too. Like he appreciates everyone.
Yeah.
For what they do. Here we go. Oh, 1T. Oh.
You ever watch Letterkenny?
I've seen some of the clips on YouTube. I never watched it. I did watch Trailer Park Boys.
So Letterkenny is similar because it's obviously a lot of Canadians, a lot of Canadian shit talking, and a lot of Canadian humor.
Yeah.
But it's way more hockey centric. Like hockey's really important in Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Whereas it's just kind of like
I've seen like the hockey chirp scenes.
Yeah,
they have them like accumulated.
Yeah, those are great.
Compilation or whatever.
Yeah, the shit talking in Letterkenny is fucking top notch.
Yeah.
It's some of the best shit I've ever seen in my life, dude.
But hockey players are the best and most creative.
100. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's like if you listen to like on YouTube the compilations of like the players where they're mic'd up and all that, it's so entertaining.
The hocky mic'd up is way better than anything else.
Yeah, like, they just sewer other players. They just sewer them.
Oh my god, dude. I don't know if this still happens in the NHL because I haven't heard it in a lot of the mic'd up. But when we played hockey as kids, the fuck your mother comments, it was basically just a contest of who could describe the most offensive way one was going to fuck someone else's mother. Like, that's all it was. That's all it was.
Yeah, getting under people's skins. I mean, you'd find out who was a snap show and you'd say something to him and you'd be like good for a power play just because it, the wires would cross.
A snap show, I love it. I love it.
Get a slash out of it or whatever. Like, all right, we're on the power play, boys.
Do you ever still play hockey? You ever go play pickup?
No, I haven't played in like a few years.
I got 2 pairs of skates, and I so fucking badly want to get out there and start playing pickup.
Yeah.
I want to do it so bad, dude. I'll go to fucking play it again and get some fucking old shitty pads. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude, I'm down to play like pond hockey and that kind of shit for sure. But fuck, winter, I'm trying to get that shit to end.
I know, right?
We had some shitty weather lately.
I know, dude.
I'm ready to get out on the scooters.
The last 2 weeks have been brutal for my allergies and my stomach, dude. Me and my wife finally think we zeroed it in, and like my stomach issues are definitely weather related. Like it's something environmental, dude. Because like specifically this last week with the weather going up and down the way it did.
Yeah.
It's been fucking brutal, dude. Yeah. It's wicked. Something that causes my allergies to inflame. It's also doing it to my guts. Because, dude, it's just bad, bro. I'm fucking over it. It's like, I didn't even mind the winter that much this year because it wasn't that bad. It snowed a lot, but it wasn't horrible.
It wasn't too bad.
But this last 2 weeks, I'm fucking over it, bro.
Yeah, we had that one day. It was like 60. It was a tease.
Yeah, and everything melted. Fucking bunch of water came into my basement because it, not from the melting of the snow, but the next day it rained. Like a lot.
Yeah.
So I had water coming in again. Then everything was muddy and spongy. All the dog shit melted in the backyard. So it just stunk. Oh, I hate it, dude. I hate this time of year. By this time next month, though, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, in like 7 or 8 days, the weather's going to be good. A little over a week. It looks like we're going to have some good weather right around a week, so that'll be good.
I never trust the weather that far out.
It is funny to watch it change, though, when it goes in your favor. You're like, oh, it looks like it's getting warmer, and then it just ends up raining, and you're like, fuck me.
Yeah, 3 days is as far as I'll go. And that includes today.
Right.
So today, Monday, Tuesday is as far as I'll trust.
Right.
Whatever they say on Wednesday, my attitude is already, we'll see.
I can't believe they only have 6 shots. Go on here.
Yeah, that is kind of hard to believe. Through 2 periods, there's only 17 total shots.
Yeah, I remember thinking the first 2 went in, for fuck's sake.
They did.
Yeah.
Cam Talbot really has stepped up. Who was the guy who got injured?
Is that the Russian goalie? Kakinen?
Yeah, yeah, that other guy.
I think we might end up trading him though.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Oh no, they made a few moves.
I thought he got injured.
They added a defenseman.
Nice. Do you remember in the 90s they tried putting the dot and the streak on the puck so you could see where it was going on the ice?
Yeah, they tried to liven it up, yeah. And at one point they would like literally teach you the game. Like they would have
like Madden? Like how Madden would break down football?
Yeah.
They need to do that more now.
It would explain an icing and like that kind of stuff.
They need to do that again now. Because that's what made football great, is you had guys like John Madden who was explaining football in such a simple way that children understood it.
Like listening to him and Pat Summerall back in the day, those are the best guys.
People make fun of Madden because of his and people. I'm like, listen, y'all don't understand. Einstein had the greatest quote. The definition of true genius is being able to explain a complex idea to anyone, not just other geniuses.
Right.
That's what Madden did. Madden would break down high-level football concepts to where me, as an 8-year-old, truly understood the point. I really understood the point. So when I went to football practice the next day, I was actually better than I was on Friday when I left.
Right.
And fucking my coaches would be like, where'd you learn this? I'd be like, I seen it on the Vikings game, or I seen it on the Cowboys game, whatever game I was watching that weekend. Like, oh, fucking cool, man. Nice.
Yeah,
and,
so many
they don't do that. And from that to like literally explaining the penalties. Like he would draw shit on the screen all the way down to dumb shit like explaining penalties and rules within the game. They need to bring that back to hockey because they don't do that enough. And in fact, I don't think they do that in any other sport other than basketball. They don't really do it in baseball. They'll talk about it, but they don't really break it down for the dummies and the casuals.
I feel like baseball is just getting murdered more and more over time, which is weird because the players' salaries are going up and up. Like sometimes I'm like, who's watching this shit?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Just because the younger generation, they can't be tuning in at that high of a...
No.
You know, like what's the league gonna look like in 10 years? I don't know. Like not a lot of kids are even playing baseball in the inner city, and like with a lot of these suburbs, like lacrosse has gotten a lot bigger, soccer's gotten a lot bigger. You know. I feel like baseball's hurting from that.
Well, here's how I know baseball is fucked. Oh, hey, what's up, Patrick? Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, Kakinen. He's Finnish, and he was traded to the Sharks.
Hey,
Shout out to Patrick. Patrick used to be on 93X. He's actually one of the dudes that I was doing these sportscasts with
nice.
before we made it official. He's one of the ones that helped me beta test it out and shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we made it official now. But yeah, fucking what were we just talking about?
Oh, fucking.
We were just talking about
Something good.
What's up, Patrick? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We'll see if anybody's watching over on Twitch. Let's see. So how'd you get into, I wanted to ask you, so how'd you get into the play-by-play with the Magicians? Did you have a background in broadcasting or anything?
Yeah. I went to Brown College, which what used to be a school in like Mendota Heights.
Yeah.
They had like TV broadcasting and radio broadcasting. So I did that, and then I did like an internship and did like some broadcasting and that kind of stuff. But one day it basically got the start how I got into the league was there was a team down in Albert Lee. The play-by-play guy quit in like the middle of the year, so they called the school and they were like, hey, would anyone drive down to Albert Lee and call a hockey game? And I'd never done play-by-play of a hockey game. I'd like done some broadcast work, but I hadn't done that yet. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Had never called a game. Went down there, called the game, had like a great time. And the owner was like, yeah, you sounded great. And then I got one of the guys involved was like, we're gonna start a team next year, and like offered me a job. And then I got a job with that team. That was the Austin Bruins down in southern Minnesota. So I called games on the AM station down there. And then the Magicians came in like 2013. Yeah, so I've been with them ever since.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, but like when you go to radio school, like it was you're like in a booth and there's like the school radio station, but it's just dumb shit, like talk for 30 seconds and that kind of stuff. Nothing like open ended like this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it was just like straight up FM format. You know what I mean? So like I was a sports guy, so I just wanted to do like hockey or work for a baseball team. But yeah, so that worked out. And then once I came to the Magicians, then MC22 got involved, and I was able to do stuff with them.
What's MC22?
So it's like Comcast and then MediaCom.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So MediaCom has like a sports channel. So we've done boxing on there and that kind of thing. So a couple of producers have gotten me involved. We've done like high school football, high school hockey. And then they used to do Magicians games, so hopefully we'll fill the gap with some other sports because the Magicians aren't in town anymore. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So who were they an affiliate of?
Who's that?
The Magicians.
They were they were just a regular junior team. So guys are moving on to Division I schools.
Right. You said that earlier, but like they're moving.
Yeah. So someone bought the team and they're just gonna relocate them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
God, man. Maybe that's what I should do when I get some fuck you money is buy like a small regional sports team like that.
I always thought like owning a minor league sport would be so cool. Like to own like owning the St. Paul Saints. That's cool because they made like the jump to AAA instead of playing. That's really cool.
Isn't that the coolest shit?
Oh,
dude,
geez.
They started off as a farm team, I used to
go to the games at Midway.
A town team, right? Isn't that what it's called, town ball?
Well, no, they were independent leagues, so they played in like the American Association. And then I think they ended up switching leagues. I'm not even sure like how it started.
It started off as like not a serious thing.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I can't remember exactly now that I'm thinking about it. Because I read about this a couple years ago.
Mm.
And it was when I found out Bill Murray was one of the owners.
Yeah.
And yeah, they started off, I don't know, it was weird. And then somehow, some way, yeah, they eventually became, just last year, the official AAA team. So what is Rochester now? Is Rochester the AA team?
Rochester.
Yeah. The Red Wings?
Oh, I think they're still AAA. They probably just ended up switching their affiliates. Because we used to have like the Salt Lake City Buzz. That used to be like our AAA affiliate, or the Bees or whatever. Like every few years it switches. I'm not sure who are. Yeah, because it's like maybe the Chattanooga Lookouts. I bet your boy knows who the AA affiliate of the Twins is.
Patrick, do you know? Do you know who the AA affiliate for the Twins is?
Like I want to say it was the Rochester Red Wings at one point in time.
Is there a team called the Wind Surge or some shit like that?
Dude, the minor league baseball teams have the best names. I know that much.
Yeah,
but like there's the Chattanooga Lookouts. Maybe that's our AA affiliate.
No, I know that's not it.
No, okay.
Once you say it, once you say it, I'll remember it because it's in the baseball game.
Well, there was New Britain, but I don't think that is anymore.
No, that's not them either. MLB. Oh wait, no. I want to go Twins affiliates. Yeah,
well, no. Now our AAA affiliate would be the St. Paul Saints. So
right.
Maybe our AA affiliate is the New
Fort
Britain
Myers.
Wildcats.
Low A is Fort Myers. The Mighty Muscles.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they were the Miracle at one point.
Okay, here it is.
Our rookie ball team used to be the Elizabethtown Twins because I used to have a hat back in the day, and that's not it anymore.
Okay, so
I don't think the Beloit Snappers are either because I think they were our single A affiliate.
Okay, so here's what it is currently right now. AAA is the Saints.
Yeah.
AA is the Wichita Wind Surge. I fucking thought so. I asked if it was the Wind
you were
Surge.
right. You're right.
I'm telling you, the only reason I know that is because of that fucking video game, that show.
Oh yeah.
Because you could start off as a player and you can go all the way through. It's awesome. It's great.
It's the best game.
Our high A is the Cedar Rapids Colonels.
Okay.
Low A is Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, and then we have our rookie league and our foreign league. They're both called the Twins. That's fucking hilarious, dude. So it used to be our AA team used to be the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
Yeah, dude, some of those names are so cool.
You're right. Chattanooga, back in 2018, Chattanooga Lookouts. Good call, buddy.
But no, since are you
New
telling
Britain
me
Rock Cats was 2014?
So why are our affiliates at the minor league level are changing every 2 years?
They weren't for a long time. So for a very long time, let's just go back like 20 years.
That just seems
right?
weird.
In 2000, our AAA was the Salt Lake Buzz, and then AA was New Britain Rock Cats. 2001, AAA was the Edmonton Trappers, but AA stayed, and it stayed that way for a couple of years.
Weird.
And then in 2003 is when we got the Red Wings, and that they stayed our AAA affiliate until just last year.
Oh, okay.
But the AA 2000, basically since the 90s, New Britain Rock Cats all the way up until 2015. And then, it looks like the last few years we switched around a little bit.
That just seems weird.
It does seem weird, doesn't it?
You don't want to be in the system too long, but like pitchers don't make it to the bigs until they're in their like mid-20s.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like a lot of guys will go straight from high school to rookie ball as a 19-year-old, and they don't get called up to their 25. That's a lot of levels.
And then you got
jump.
guys like fucking Mauer who came straight from high school to the pros. I don't think he played a single day in.
I think he played AA a little bit. Because I think he
maybe
skipped AAA entirely. I think he started playing minor league.
Did he?
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I'm curious now. I'm going to look that up too while we're waiting for this.
Just that makes me feel, I'm not that old, but that makes me feel so old because I remember in like, I don't know, wasn't he at Cretin in like the late 90s? Is that fair? Like 98, 99 or whatever?
Yep.
Because he was good at a couple of sports.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to give us actual minor league shit. Oh, he had to have.
Yeah, you can't just, there's no way.
Because he didn't play in Minnesota until 2004. He was 21.
Yeah. He played a few. But I think he did skip AAA entirely. But a lot of guys that are high-end prospects do.
Yeah, put him down in 2A for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with Mauer, it was almost more like getting him physically into a position to play in the pros, not mentally, or because he had fast hands out of high school.
There was a video the other day of a guy, like you can serve or like the high end pros can serve a tennis ball like 130 miles an hour. And they had a catcher that was a kid that was catching it, and he was getting all of them.
Really?
That's insane. You think about how much faster they're going in. Because 100's fast.
I mean, just to catch a tennis ball is hard.
Oh.
Period.
Yeah.
Just because it bounces.
Yeah, but I mean, just the idea of like catching 130 mile per hour anything is insane.
Yeah, I think we ramped it up to like 90 when we were playing Little League. We'd ramp up the batting cage to like 90 and then sit back there and practice our catching and throwing drills. So you'd like get down in your stance and try to catch that. And yeah, we'd ramp it up just for fun. And I think the fastest kid in our Little League, can't remember who it was, but he was big. He was like 6'2" in 6th grade. He was a huge kid. He was throwing like 88.
Oh my God.
And I was only throwing like 82 or 84, but I was still throwing hard. I was throwing heat. This is 6th grade. Like we were throwing heat.
You got another one.
Wow.
That was an easy one for him.
But yeah, nobody was throwing 90, and it was fast. 90 was fast.
Oh, yeah.
90 is an extremely fast pitch. I can't imagine 130. Dude, this is how I know how baseball's fucked, by the way. Thank you, Patrick, by the way. He reminded me. This is how I know baseball's fucked.
Oh.
Professional wiffle ball is significantly more entertaining than professional baseball. There's a league out of Vegas called Premier Wiffle Ball.
Yeah.
Or Premier Wiffle League or whatever it is. I watch them on Twitch.
Yeah.
I've sat there for 2 hours.
Wiffle ball's fun.
Watching them play professional wiffle ball. Because there's a challenge to it. Because obviously you can throw the wiffle ball and make it do all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
So one of the keys is you have to throw it under 55 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
So it changes how much you're able to manipulate the ball. Because if you just throw 60, 70 miles an hour with a wiffle ball, you can make it go a quarter mile, like across your fuck. But yeah, when you have to throw it under 55, it actually makes it significantly more interesting, dude.
Oh, yeah. You probably got to like submarine it and like come in at weird angles and like some of the weird pitchers the Twins have had over the years, like that Neshek guy. Like
Pat Neshek.
It almost looked like it was underhand because sidearm. I mean, it was like low sidearm. I don't know. That was wild.
Yeah, I'm not fucking around. It's seriously entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm serious. That's how I know real baseball is fucked, because you're looking at premier, top level, world class athletes, and I would rather watch guys who play in beer league softball go play wiffle ball because they are more entertaining to watch. That's a fucking problem for professional baseball, dude.
Yeah.
When the Twins, you know why? I think you probably know why. The Twins grabbed the Saints is because the Saints are the best show in town. And the Twins wanted that money in their pockets.
Probably, yeah.
Because the Saints remember when the Saints played?
Proximity is great for getting called up. Like if you're living in St. Paul and you get called up, like, all right, I'll be there in 15 minutes.
Exactly, bro. That's
and
dope,
before
right?
you're in like Rochester, New York.
No, it was Minnesota, but still.
No, I don't think it was.
Yeah, it's Rochester, Minnesota.
No.
The Rochester Red Wings?
No, they weren't.
I'm telling you, that's Rochester, Minnesota, bro.
No, there's no way.
All right, let's find out. I'm looking it up.
We don't have any other minor league baseball in Minnesota. I wish it was in Rochester. I'd fucking go to it.
It is Rochester, New York, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
You're right.
No, that'd be sick if we had a...
I thought it was in Rochester, Minnesota.
Yeah, Saints were the only other team that was
because isn't that where Red Wing shoes are? Is in Rochester?
Yeah, I think that's where that's
why
from.
I put those two together.
No,
Rochester Red Wings. Like I thought, like that's Rochester's deal. The Red Wings.
Rochester's like a Bloomington, where every fucking state, like there's probably a Bloomington, Iowa. There's an Indiana. You know, I bet there's one in Illinois. I mean, like every fucking state has a Bloomington or a fucking Plymouth. I feel like every state has a goddamn Plymouth.
You're probably right, dude.
But No, that'd be sweet if we did. I mean, just for like other alternatives of watching sports.
I genuinely thought it was Rochester, Minnesota because of the Red Wings.
It would make sense.
I just literally connected Red Wing boots because I'm pretty sure those are from Red Wing. They're from Red Wing, Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're not from Rochester. They're from Red Wing, Minnesota.
Right.
That's why they're Red Wing boots. I'm so dumb.
Rochester, Red Wing. Oh, no, whatever.
I'm such an
That's
idiot.
the geef.
I'm such a moron, dude. Oh, what a dipshit. Oh, fuck. I never like calling it early, but I think the Wild might have this. We were talking about this in the first parade. They're out shooting us, but it genuinely feels like we're outplaying them.
It's just a mucked up game.
And I'm telling you, dude, I don't know what it is. I don't want to take anything away from our coaches or our players, but I don't feel like Ovechkin is the same player he was. And he's almost 200 goals away. So even 4 more seasons averaging 40 goals is still only 160 goals. I don't think he's passing Gretzky. When they put the graphic on the screen, it was like 892.
Uh-oh.
Is that a pending penalty on us? It has to be, right?
I don't think he had put his arm up. No, he didn't, because we're on it now.
You think they missed a call there?
No, maybe it was just the angle.
Man, this. I can't wait for playoff hockey. Because I will watch some playoff hockey regardless of whether the Wild are in it or not.
Yeah, it's so entertaining.
I feel like playoff hockey, the only thing that beats it is playoff football. And the only reason football beats it is because it's one and done.
Yeah.
Which I honestly am starting to think they should move the Super Bowl to a best-of-3 series.
Dude, the NFL would love that. Roger Goodell would love that. He'd get so hard. Just that it's all about revenue. That's why I don't like the NFL. I love football. Like that's why I don't know. I feel that way with a lot of the leagues. I don't know. Like fantasy football is so huge right now. And like I understand how it generates a lot of money, but it's just that's not the way that I watch the game.
It is starting to become
weird.
Irrationally, the numbers, they're becoming irrationally large. Like these player salaries, the ticket prices to own season tickets, anything involved with it, it's becoming like, it's not becoming a blue collar thing,
right?
Where you can bring your family to the game.
Right.
It's not that anymore. It's becoming a fashionable. I mean, like rich people are going to football games just as something to do now.
Right.
They don't give a fuck. They
Right.
want to be at the stadium so they can take their Instagram picture, and it's like that's not why we should be doing this. But I don't know. I'm wondering how, if there's a sports bubble, like you were mentioning with baseball, right? These salaries keep going up. Who the fuck's watching these games? Who's going to all these games? How are they making this kind of money?
Yeah, it's
as
weird.
a problem. Do you remember when the fucking NHL went bankrupt? And
yeah, they ran into some money.
Somebody had to come in and buy the league. Like literally, that's when they got rid of the 2-line passing. That's when they got all those major rule changes in place. They tried to speed up the game because fucking the league wasn't profitable.
Right.
At some point in time, that has to happen to these other sports as well. And I'm wondering at what point is that? You know, when Patrick Mahomes signs a $500 million contract.
Yeah, it's insane.
When your average ticket to a fucking game is $100.
What happens when the economy crashes and the dollar's not worth anything?
That's what I'm saying, right? And
I don't know.
Like,
maybe that's doomsday thinking, but it's like I don't know. It is hard to be optimistic about the future right now.
It's very hard to be optimistic.
You think about people that are just making that type of money. It's insane. Is he the highest paid player in the NFL?
Mahomes?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely the single largest contract ever signed, for sure. $500 million.
Oh my God. Over how many years?
10.
Oh my
so he's
God.
making $50 million a year.
Did he have a good year?
I mean, he won the Super Bowl. And
the
he's
1 year.
And he's probably the best player in the league.
Yeah.
The best single player in the league. I think he's the football version of Michael Jordan.
For real?
Yeah, like athletically and like charismatically and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
Where did he play college?
Texas Tech? Texas A&M.
Okay.
I don't know. Somewhere in
yeah.
fucking Texas, I think. I actually can't remember where he played college.
It's cool to see superstars that like come from schools that aren't that popular. Like I'm not a big basketball guy, but Curry, didn't he go to like Davidson?
Steph Curry?
Yeah.
I'm not sure because his dad and his brother, his brother's in the league now with him. Not on the same team, but his brother's in the league, and his dad was also in the league. So that actually kind of surprised me if he went to a small college. You know what I mean? With a former player as a dad. Unless he went to his dad's alma mater.
Right.
Then that would make sense. Because then, because that kind of family legacy shit will transcend anything real quick. Is what's really interesting is when Antoine Winfield played for the Vikings, I don't even think he lives here anymore. But when his kid needed to go to college, he sent his kid to the University of Minnesota.
Right.
And then his kid got drafted by the Bucks and went back down to Tampa and won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady last year. Or 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
The Gophers are a small school, especially in the football world.
Right. Well, it's just been weird that we've always had, like, other than like hockey for Division I, the Gophers, like St. Thomas has made the jump now. So now technically we have Division I football and Division I basketball. Other than the Gophers. But prior to that, like if you're a basketball fan, Minnesota's the only team. Like Chicago has like 15 Division I basketball teams. It's insane.
St. Cloud made the jump. Didn't Mankato make the jump too when they went from Mankato to Minnesota State?
Yeah. There's six Division I teams now that St. Thomas is Division I.
That's insane. And is it just
they're all fucking good too.
Is it just the hockey that's Division I, or is their entire sports program Division
Well, for
I?
St. Thomas, all of those, the only school that's like that in that group is the U. The U of M, but now St. Thomas is playing. They're in like a smaller conference for basketball, but it's Division I.
That's cool.
But for football, I think it's like the Division I AA, the subdivision they call it or whatever, where like the Ivy League schools play 1 AA, I think they call it, but it still is Division I. But yeah, they were just dominating.
I don't know if there is multiple divisions like that in college football. I think it's just Division I, Division II. But you might be right. There might be different versions of Division I.
Yeah, it's like FBS and FCS or whatever it's called. But they haven't done a very good job of like marketing it and promoting that kind of stuff. I didn't realize they were actually playing a Division I schedule till like a couple weekends left in the year. Because it's like, well, that's cool. I want to go check out a Division I basketball game that's not at the U. Even if it is like smaller ball, they're playing like South Dakota and like some of the smaller schools. But I don't really care. It's still Division I. Like that St. Pete's team just made it to the Elite Eight, and they didn't have one player on their team that was even rated in high school.
Really?
They're not even a 1-star guy.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And that guy with the muzzy just like shooting shots. The white kid. He was the only white guy on the team. I'm trying to think of what the fuck his name was. Doug Eater. That was so entertaining.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
They ended up getting murdered, but.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is technically the highest paid player right now, but that was only 4 years, $200 million.
Only?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying compared to Mahomes is $500 million. So yeah, like technically you're right, dude. Patrick. Technically Rodgers is the highest paid player in football right now, but
right.
Dude, here's what's crazy. Patrick Mahomes with that contract, $500 million.
Yeah.
He was able to take enough of that money from a signing bonus and like blah 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 blah, leverage it with the banks and everything. Dude, he bought a portion of the fucking Kansas City Royals. Like the current starting quarterback
owns a portion of the Royals. I wonder what percentage he owns.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's a portion.
Well,
like he's part owner of the baseball team.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's smart.
Yeah,
that is probably the smartest decision any current athlete has ever done with their money.
Oh
period.
yeah.
Plus, on the $500 million contract, he's also got all those endorsement deals, and he's got other money rolling in too. So
right.
I wonder how. God,
they always do. I mean, yeah, it's enough money unless you're Latrell Sprewell.
I'm trying to feed my family.
Right. I feel bad for him though. I mean, shit's expensive nowadays.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why I don't.
I'm working class.
That's why I'm not down with this whole like tax the rich, eat the rich. Like they have enough. It's like, dude, $1 billion sounds like a lot of money now, but here's the deal: $1 million right now isn't a lot of money anymore.
Right.
But 20 years ago, $1 million was a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, like
still.
I was saying with you earlier, I thought when I was a kid, like I thought 40 grand was a lot of money.
And it was, dude.
Yeah.
It really was. So not only is our perception of things changed, but the value of the dollar has gone down. So again, $1 billion now is a lot. But
Right.
in 20, 30, 40 years, it may not be.
Right.
But those guys will still be rich. And
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. The problem is the rest of us not learning how to get out of the fucking gutter. That's the thing is I'm not trying to tear those guys down and bring them down to my level.
Right.
That's not going to make me feel better with us all being poor.
Right.
I kind of like having the rich people up there because it gives me something to aspire to.
Right.
If we got rid of all the rich motherfuckers and everybody lived like us,
Right.
you would just think, oh, this is as good as it gets then.
Right.
When has that ever helped society?
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I hear you.
3 years at 150. No, it was 4 years, 200 million. What are you talking about, dude? Rodgers' deal was 4 years, 200 million.
It might have been an option. Does he even want to be in Green Bay? He re-signed there?
Yeah.
It sounded like he didn't
4
want to be
years,
there.
200 million.
Do any Packers fans not like him?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here, dude. Aaron Rodgers agreed to a 4-year, $200 million deal that will make him the highest paid player in NFL history. Which is
either way,
incredibly
that's $50
deceptive.
million a year. What's the math? What's the Minnesota math on how much the Kansas City Mahomes is making?
What's that?
Mahomes signed $500 million.
Yeah, 10 years,
10
$500
years, so
million.
he's making $50 million also. That's what that would be.
It
right?
would average out to, yep. He's not making anywhere near that this year. I think it's like 20 this year. But that's what's crazy about some of these contracts is it's not like hockey, right?
No,
so in
hockey ain't
hockey,
shit.
in hockey, well, I'm just saying how the contracts are structured. In hockey, you can do 3 types of contracts. You can do low to high,
Right.
you can do high to low, and then you can even split it across the board. That's it. That's very simple in hockey. In football, they fucking move that money around. It gets fucking weird. Sometimes the first year is super high.
Front loaded, yeah.
And then the second and third year are really low, but that fourth year, like if we went and looked at Patrick Mahomes' contract, I can almost guarantee you he's got 1 year in there where he's slated to make $60-70 million. Because I know for a fact they didn't average the 50 million over 10 years.
Right.
They didn't. I know for a fact they didn't do that because this year he's only getting paid like 20 or 30 or something like that. But there's
so many players get bought out too. Not on those like
saying,
insane big contracts, but I think that's why a lot of them are front loaded though. In the NHL, anyways, because guys will be signing. You know, you're not gonna, especially with the age. The age is changing. You know, hockey prime when I was a kid was like 27. Now, if you're 27, you're almost considered old in the league,
dude.
Guys north of 30, it's tough.
The Deshaun Watson contract is actually more insane than any of them. Because let me read you this one. Deshaun Watson contract. Okay, here's what the Deshaun Watson contract is. It's 5 years, $230 million. So it's less than those other guys. Okay? He's making, what does that average out to? Fucking like $45 million a year.
That's it.
However, it's fully guaranteed.
Didn't they learn that with Jamarcus Russell?
It's $230 million over 5 years. So it's $45 million per season, and it's fully guaranteed. This guy, he could get injured game 1 and have a career-ending injury, and they have to pay him all of that money.
Yeah, you could...
all of it. All of it, brother. All of it. He may never play another football game because of his criminal shit. He might still have criminal charges brought against him. He might have civil charges. We don't know what's going to happen. He could turn around and murder somebody next week, and they still have to pay him all of that money, dude. They might have some weird, personal conduct clause, like if he gets convicted of rape.
What do you mean I can't kill somebody?
Like, what if they wrote that? And check this out. Follow me down this thought experiment.
The Ray
rabbit hole.
Lewis law.
So
You're not allowed to kill more than one person.
What if in his contract for $230 million guaranteed, but then they were like, but if you're convicted of assault or rape, you can't have the money. Like, just imagine him being like, hey man, what's up with this rape clause? And they're like, they're like, yeah, I mean, like, if you rape somebody, we're not paying you. And he's like, that ain't fair, man. You got to take that out.
Right. Yeah. Like in Ray Rice's contract, he's not allowed to pound an old lady. And
but
then
here's why I
get him
say
on
this.
camera.
Because here's why I say this, dude. Like, there is legitimate theories and suggestions that Mike Tyson never raped that woman.
Oh yeah,
like there's serious theories, and then Kobe Bryant falsely accused of rape. Right.
Ben Roethlisberger more than one time.
Both times falsely accused of rape. Proven. Not only that, it's not like
Patrick
they just
Kane.
Dude, great example.
Yeah.
So again, it's like I could actually understand if you wanted to fight that. Like, dude, because here's the thing: what if I'm falsely convicted of rape? You're gonna fuck me and not pay me my money. I need that money so I don't go to prison for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, no. Take the rape clause out, bro.
Yeah.
Because as the team, I'd be like, rape clause stays in.
The lawyers would go to war with that. They're like, you can't put an asterisk that has fucking domestic violence. Like, he's allowed to beat people and still receive his money. To where if you said that to an NHL player, they'd be like, okay, like, who am I gonna,
And if I'm the team, rape clause stays in.
Right.
No. I remember when the Vikings signed Jared Allen, we traded for him. We were talking about this earlier. When's the last time in Minnesota sports, any Minnesota sports team made a truly blockbuster trade at the trade deadline? And we were talking about Fleury.
Yeah.
I don't think the Vikings or Timberwolves or any team has ever made a blockbuster trade other than this one and the Vikings going to get Jared Allen. But when we traded to get Jared Allen, that wasn't in season at the trade deadline or anywhere close to it. That was in the off season. Yeah. So I don't even think I don't think we've ever experienced anything like this. But when we did go get him, we put as a clause in his contract, he wasn't allowed to drive because he had already been convicted of 2 DWIs.
Oh, damn.
So we did write in a personal conduct clause that he had to hire a private driver.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you could definitely afford it, I'll tell you that much.
And I had a buddy who actually almost got that deal. So he worked...
be his Bobo or whatever?
Yeah, so my buddy worked for a small group of fleet drivers, and they all owned like really nice sedans, and they had 2 limos and 2 SUVs, 2 like Hummers.
Well,
1 Hummer and 1 Hummer limo. But the rest of them were just super high-end sedans, which is how real rich people drive around.
Oh, yeah.
Real rich people don't use limos. Right. They just drive in really high-end sedans.
Yep.
But he was already on the Prince contract. So he was Prince's driver.
Oh, okay.
So he couldn't take Jared Allen as well. Because it should have gone to Sean, the Jared Allen deal.
Right.
But he couldn't because with Prince, that's one of Prince's deals is you have to be available literally 24/7.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to be there.
Yeah.
Within 40 minutes or something like that. Like,
so many rich people actually have that. Like my buddy that was his role. He was a Bobo. Like the guy, whatever he needed, he would do. Sometimes that would be going to the grocery store. It would be to go look at a
Sean
boat
didn't do none of that
he would buy. But like some people that have that kind of FU money do have people that do that or whatever.
Yeah, that's like an actual personal assistant. They call it a Bobo, huh? I've never heard that term.
Yeah, that's what a lot of times they call it.
Yeah, no, Sean was just literally a driver. And Prince's big thing is when I say I need a ride, you have 40 minutes to be here.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care where you're at.
Right.
You could be in South Dakota.
Yeah.
You better get on a private plane and fly. Like, that's how serious he was, even though that's not realistic. But that's actually kind of his deal, right? So it didn't matter if it was noon. It didn't matter if it was 5 a.m. It didn't matter if it was 8 p.m.
Right.
Sean had to drop anything he was doing. And I remember one time,
guy's probably making triple figures.
No, Sean wasn't. But it was good enough money to where he did it.
Right.
Because he used to offer me rides and shit.
Yeah.
So I remember there was a couple times I'm like, Sean, hey, can you hook me up? I need you to take me and my girl. And he's like, I'm on Prince tonight. So that was the only other thing is he would know when Prince he would be like on or off.
Right.
Because it wasn't just one guy that Prince had. So he'd be like, no, I'm on Prince tonight. So, but he'd be on Prince for like a week. It's almost like being a fireman. You'd be like a week on, a week off.
Yeah.
And he'd be on Prince for like a week and never get a call.
Yeah.
So it was weird how it worked out, but he had to be available.
Right.
Yeah. And so anyways, when Jared Allen got traded to the Vikings, Jared Allen's driver was, and it's funny because the dude looks exactly like Sean. Like they're both like super tall, thin white dudes with like bald heads, like Bic bald.
Yeah.
And they look almost identical.
It looks such a Texan.
In fact, the dude that ended up getting Jared Allen's contract is in one of my music videos as our limo driver.
Oh, really?
So when we needed a limo for our music video, I called Sean. Yeah. I'm like, hey, can you hook me up? And he's like, fuck yeah. But Sean couldn't drive that night because, again, I think Sean was on Prince that night. But he's like, but I got a buddy. And he showed up, and I swear to God, I thought it was Sean. That's how much they look alike. Yeah, and I was like, oh, my God, you're not Sean. And he goes, no, we both get that a lot.
That's fucking awesome.
Like, you would legitimately think they're the same person if you didn't get up close to him.
That's fucking awesome.
Ugh. What do we got in chat here? Patrick. 93X contract allowed up to 3 murders per year, but it was based on conviction, not accusations.
What?
Patrick says this 93X contract allowed up to 3 murders per year, but they had to be they were based on convictions, not accusations.
Oh my God!
So you could have unlimited murder accusations in a year. I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's just fucking around.
The HR department would love that.
Well,
I think that's the idea. Get a job without an HR department.
Well, what's his name? The fucking
93X is badass. So that's
who's that?
A real job in the radio industry, not like I got gassed. Yeah.
Who's that old fucking asshole who used to be on like right wing news? He's not on anymore.
There's a lot of them.
No, it's recent, but he's old.
Rush Limbaugh, like the guy that passed away.
No, that's older.
Glenn Beck.
No, newer than that.
Hannity?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about him?
Wait. No, not Sean Hannity. The other guy. He's older than that guy.
Bill O'Reilly?
Yeah! Bill O'Reilly. That's who it is. Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah!
He had it written into his contract.
Something regarding rape?
Yeah.
Don't.
Sexual
he got in
assault.
trouble for it.
Yeah, no. So his contract was like
coin?
His contract was like based on he would get fined for each sexual assault accusation. It was in his contract because he already had it. Like,
so many built up.
Yeah, and so it was like for the first one,
that's not very progressive.
It's $50,000. For the second one, it's $150,000.
Oh my God!
And if you get 3 in a year, it's $250,000.
Didn't he end up giving someone like $30 million?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
What did you do to her?
That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Like that shit's real, dude. So we keep joking about this, but this is an actual thing. Like this shit happens, bro.
Oh my God.
Personal drivers and rape clauses, man. That's the world we live in. I'll hire you and I'll pay you millions. But
right.
We've heard rumors you're a little rapey. God, that's just crazy. Yeah, and they hired him anyways. And then it happened.
Jesus. So many of those people.
I knew you'd figure it out when you're just listening off the right wingers. It's like, let's just narrow this down.
Yeah, and there's only so many that are still with us. I mean, not even with that. Rush Limbaugh fucking died. He fucking hit the deck. He gone.
Dude, he used to be so much more reasonable when he was younger.
When he said that shit about Donovan McNabb, the fucking... Got some people fired up.
What did he say again? I vaguely remember.
He just said something
racist,
something
right?
to do with race, and just because black quarterbacks weren't as prevalent at the time. He said something like that, but I don't know. He always would say shit like that would get people fired up.
But way back in the day, and I mean
grew
way
up. My
back
parents
in the day.
listened to that shit, so I always.
My
grew
grandpa
up with that
did
kind of
too,
stuff. Yeah.
and my grandpa's an extremely reasonable, loving dude.
Right.
And he was a big Rush Limbaugh fan up until I remember him being a legit fan in the early 90s and shit. So I'm talking way back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 30 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But Rush kept getting more and more extreme as he got older.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, I remember noticing Grandpa took the Rush Limbaugh photo off the fridge.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with like listening to the Garage Logic and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the reasons why I ended up going to broadcasting school, just because I thought that was, that was so cool. Just
that
the
used
idea
to be a dream
of broadcasting and that kind of thing. And like I worked for an AM radio station for a little bit when I was calling games. It was pretty sweet, but radio isn't what it is. Like now, this is what you wanted radio to be when you were a young kid. This is the forum. This is what it is now. Like the open-ended discussion and. Yeah, I like to take in all the content.
Yeah, I would
right
love
wing,
to,
left wing, the libertarians, the anarchists. I want to hear it all.
I would love to build this up into something where we're collecting radio-sized paychecks off of.
Yeah.
Like, because if you have a really good radio show, you still make decent money nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the only thing that those radio shows can provide over a podcast now is a paycheck, a steady paycheck.
Right.
Like it's a steady job with health benefits and shit, right? But for the consumer, I mean, the live streaming on the internet is where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because it's, on the radio, think about it. Those guys are just sitting there like we are, right? But on a podcast, we could be playing a video game right now. Right now, we've got a graphic queued up so people can watch this game with us.
Right.
We could fucking do what we normally do, which is sit here and drink fucking beers and smoke cigars and bullshit.
Right.
Someday, if I figure out how to get it all working correctly, I already figured out how to do it. I just can't get it running right.
Right.
It's really clunky and shit starts freezing up. And but we could play music live.
Right.
I could be like, hey, fucking, let's jam. Like when I'm sitting here talking to a drummer or a guitar player, and we're talking about music. Like I want to be able to get deep into that. And the reason I kind of like shy away from that is because I hate having those conversations without being able to be like, show me real quick. I want to be able to do that during the podcast by hitting a button and going over here and being like, all right, sit down, play what you're talking about.
Right.
That'd be a way cooler podcast.
Oh,
because that's even more free flowing than like what Rogan can do.
Yeah. But just the idea of like the, open-ended discussion and like not having to worry about what you got to say. Yeah. It's so fucking appealing. But talk radio is the shit. I mean, just growing up on that shit, I never would have gotten into the, then now podcasts. There's so many good ones. I mean, the comedy ones alone, they'll keep you busy all week.
Yeah.
Having a bad day, fucking flip on some content.
I think the only problem with most podcasts, and mine is probably right in there, is there's so many of them out there that you really have to like the host.
Oh, yeah.
And the type of guests that he brings on in order to enjoy the podcast. Because not everybody can do the Rogan style like what I'm doing. Like most of those guys, even the comedians, end up doing something that feels more like a show. Tim Dillon is looking right at the camera. He's doing like improv rants.
Right.
Andrew Schultz has a guest host.
Right.
Even Bert Kreischer, he still does Bertcast, but obviously he's leaning more into these things where it's him and Tom on Two Bears. It's him and Bill Burr. Even Tom Segura never really did one by himself.
Yeah.
So in order to get into a podcast now, you either really got to be into those people, and usually they have something going, which is why I'm trying to get this album out. Because it's like I need to have something else other than the podcast because nobody gives a fuck. Right. The whole point is like I'm a musician. Here's what I'm doing. Here's a podcast to promote it. Fourth goal.
The identity.
What is that? What does that mean? That's just our identity.
The big guys, yeah. Greenway, Foligno.
Is that the top line? That can't be the top line.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think are probably our second or third line, but they're just a bunch of fucking brutes. They just overpower everybody. Such a beast. Yeah, Foligno's awesome. I mean, 4 goals on 13 shots. I mean, geez. It has been a very clunky game. Not much flow. 13 shots through 2 periods, 4 goals. It's so awesome.
That's crazy.
Shout out to the shooting percentage. Not a math
Even
guy,
I know
but-
that.
Yeah,
Even I know how crazy that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to seeing 20, 30 shots. I mean, literally looking at 10 to 15 shots per period.
Yeah, Washington's just not what they once were. They won a cup a few years back.
That's what I'm wondering too. Like, that's what I'm wondering is like, when the drop off in hockey happens, it's interesting to see how it happened, right? Because like in football, it depends on the position you play. If the drop off is slow or dramatic.
Yeah, a lot of times it is dramatic with an injury.
Quarterbacks, wide receivers, and safeties, it seems to be a slower decline. But like running backs, a lot of other guys, they used to be good, and now they're not.
How long did Adrian Peterson make it, and is he still playing?
He's technically still in the league.
How
like-
old is he? 30.
Yeah, 30 something. Yeah, late 30s. Yeah, because he's creeping up on 40. And God, he is still built right. He's in incredible shape. He was just never truly a good running back. He's a great athlete, great runner. He's not a natural athlete. I got in an argument with my buddy Gilly. This got serious for a while. For a while, we were like in a serious argument because we define athlete as two different things, right?
Yeah.
He defines being an athlete as like you're a natural athlete. Okay, so you can throw a ball, you can fucking run, you can jump, you can that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
I look at as athlete as like you can do one athletic thing really fucking well at a minimum, and that's what Adrian Peterson could do. He could give them the football, and he can outrun and overrun anybody.
Yeah.
But he never learned all the little things around the position to make him a great true running back. So as his physical skills declined, he couldn't compensate like Emmitt Smith did.
Yeah.
Like when Emmitt Smith was no longer his best version of himself, his mind was so superior, he was still able to get 2-3 more years out of his career, if not more.
Yeah, hopefully you just hope your career can last that long.
I want to know how that happens in hockey because I don't know enough about it. But like, it seemed to happen pretty quick with Parise. Like Parise was in his prime, and then all of a sudden, he wasn't.
Yeah, it just seems like your body gives out. I mean, he's still playing, not at the rate that he could, but
And why didn't fucking Gretzky stay in the league just a little bit longer to get 1,000 goals?
Gretzky?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he was just pretty much done. I mean, he couldn't dominate the game like he could anymore. I remember watching his last game with the Rangers. It was so sad.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he just like they wanted him to score so bad, and I just remember him being behind the net and trying to like create something out of nothing, and I don't know, it was just kind of sad. It's always sad when a guy finishes off that had like a, like a special career.
I
Sad
remember that
when they
with
go. And they're
with
going
Favre.
at younger ages. It's fucking sad. NHL's such a young league now.
well, it seems like the level of competition is so much higher that, yeah, if you're not truly elite, you're not going to last long in the league. And
And
there's
just-
more teams than ever, and
Just the way it's designed too is like getting guys on those NHL entry level deals where they're only making $900K a year those first 3 years. If they can make an impact, opposed to paying a guy that's in his 30s, however many millions of dollars, it just makes a lot more sense. The game's a lot younger, it's a lot quicker. Like we talked about earlier, where like goals are a little bit more distributed throughout the team at more of like an evenly paced, because you don't have lines where there's just guys that are fighters in the past where like guys would just fight in the
so
NHL.
Gretzky just fell off and then lasted a long time. Oh, wait, no, this looks like, well,
The idea of getting 50 goals when you're a teenager is insane.
so
And
Gretzky,
then 92 in 1 year.
Yeah, so he had 51, 55, and then 92. That's his first 3 years.
Jesus.
But then he's still 70, 87, 73, 52, 62.
Not a big deal.
It was a lot. He was in the league for a while until he finally dropped down to 40. And then the next year, 54 again. But he started missing games, too. That's the other thing in here. When he had 40 goals, he missed a bunch of games.
Mm-hmm.
He only played 64 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like he never really played a full season again after that. Well, I guess he did, but and when he did, that's really what it was. It must have just been injuries, because in 94, when he finally came back and played a full season again for the first time in forever, he scored 38 goals. And then he, again, didn't play a full season until 97, his first year with the Rangers, back to 25 goals. And this is when he really was on the decline. But damn, this is what you're talking about. His last season, 70 games, 9 goals. Yeah, it's obvious. It's time to hang it up at that point. That's brutal.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's cool watching guys in certain sports play for forever. Like, I remember Jamie Moyer. And then that knuckleballer for the Red Sox. I'm trying to think of his name.
Yeah, baseball's interesting because, like, some of those players back in the day played a long time.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they very rarely do. But it used to be kind of regular. You'd see guys 40 years old all the time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're. I'm just confused at how there's so much money in the game right now. It's insane. I just don't see like how, like, other than TV money, how is generating that much. Oh shit!
Oh,
that's
nice
a bad
steal.
turnover.
That was a beautiful play. Who's that? Fiala?
Yeah.
Just dominating this game, man.
Yeah, dude. The Caps are good. They weren't what they once were, but roll wild. That's awesome. Roll wild.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be watching and doing a bunch of wild games through April and then into the playoffs.
Hell yeah, the playoffs will be so.
And I'm excited to see how this team, because this is usually, I'm about a month or two late, about a month and a half late to hockey season for me usually.
Yeah,
like I never get into hockey at the beginning of the season because that's football season.
Yeah.
But around a few weeks after the Super Bowl, I usually start getting into hockey. But this year I've been just so busy doing other shit. I haven't even thought about hockey. And dude, when I found out the fucking Wild traded for Fleury, I'm telling you, dude, the level of excitement that's fucking, what did they say? Flowed through my veins.
Yeah.
I can't even, I was like, oh shit, we're doing this now. Because now I want to genuinely watch these Wild games and do the live streams and shit. And like, yeah, this is going to be great.
Oh, yeah. Well, if anything, it's good timing because now it's like the push, get ready for the playoffs.
Yep, and this is my favorite time of the year, April hockey.
This second goal here.
That was a nice goal.
This one was pretty easy.
Boop. That's one of those sneaky ones, too. Just dominating this game, man. Wow. Is that the most in the NHL? Top? Wow.
Yeah, Wild, it's weird to see the goal. It's like the Twins every now and then when they actually do hit home runs. Because we were talking about earlier, like being a Twins fan in the late 90s was weird when like Marty Cordova hit 25 one year, and that was like our best hitter. Ron Coomer, Matt Lawton. Man, we had some bad teams.
See, again, like that pass right there was pretty impressive. I don't remember the Wild actually making good passes like this in the past. We used to just play such a vanilla version of hockey.
Yeah.
This just seems so much more Like when we used to watch teams smoke us all the time, this is how they played against us. And sometimes you'd see the Wild come out like this in the first period. But, dude, we're deep into the game. And they're still making those great cross fucking ice passes.
Yeah.
Up and down and side to side. They're not predictable. They're keeping everything moving. And they're, even though they're not getting a lot of good quality shots on goal, they're still going after it.
Yeah.
They're not doing what they used to do, which was like try to wait for these perfect shots. And that's what used to frustrate me as a Wild fan, man. If anything, this game would be 1-0, or it'd be 2-1 in the Caps' favor.
Yeah.
Just feels so different. And I'm saying it didn't feel this way at the beginning of this season when I did jump in and watch a couple games. Because I was super curious to see how they would do.
Right.
After last season.
Yeah, even Bukestad, he's a big fuck.
So is the hockey trade deadline, is that anything like the baseball trade deadline where it's not real?
What do you mean?
So like the baseball trade deadline is like totally bullshit. Like it's completely fake. Like it just changes the way trades are done.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know the rules on that.
Because I don't think it is. I think the trade deadline's pretty real in hockey.
Yeah, in the NHL, yeah, you can't make trades. I mean, you can still call guys up from your system, but you're done after the deadline.
Oh, we got more comments from Patrick. Oh, is this a quote from Gretzky?
What did Gretzky say?
I knew it was time to retire when I was playing my last year, and people I was playing against would scream my name. And I remember thinking, wow, something isn't right. What? Gretzky also said his last year he scored 9 goals, and he thought to himself, I used to do that in a weekend, so I should probably quit.
Yeah, I remember that quote. That's Patrick. Good call. Yeah, man. I mean, he was just so used to being so good. Like, just hearing his upbringing was so cool. His dad actually made him wear white gloves when he was coming up in like minors, like youth hockey, because he knew that he would get chirped and people would target him. Like, that's just a cocky thing. Kind of like the people that wear white shades sometimes, and you're like, bro, for real. Which is fine,
shit,
whatever. Huh? But yeah, he would have his kid wear white mitts. So then knew people would target him. They would chirp him. They would run him because he wanted to prepare him. Because like obviously he's a super skilled guy. You want to prepare him for, But one thing Gretzky always did have was protectors, which is awesome. Like Marty McSorley and guys that would just, if you fucked with Gretzky, you fuck with Marty McSorley. I mean, he fucking swung a stick and hit someone in the head and almost killed him. I mean, he's a pretty intimidating guy.
That's insane. Yeah. Hockey was a different sport back then. But I do like the fact that it is definitely the sport that has changed the least out of all the 4 major sports.
That's true. Some of the sports now are just like you were saying earlier, were like it's easier for quarterbacks nowadays. Sounds cool.
But like, I refuse to even flirt with this idea that we should remove fighting from the game of hockey.
Oh, fuck that. You need it.
It's built into the rules. There's a specific set of penalties for it.
This is how you police the game. You don't want people taking liberties, like guys that can't defend themselves, and without fighting, there's no repercussions. You can do whatever the fuck you want out there.
And people go, well, would you be okay with it if they did it in football? Well, no, and there's 2 reasons why. Number one, because they're not on skates, so the punches hit different. Seriously, when you're on skates on the ice, I don't care how hard you hit somebody. It's not the same as hitting them when you have your footing on the ground. And number two, I have never seen 2 football players be able to fucking square off without them immediately being jumped by their entire team.
Right. There was one time a couple years ago where a guy swung his helmet at a guy.
Hit him in the head.
Wrong team. Was it Ovi though? If it was, good for him.
Probably was.
Bingo. Good for him. All right, let's do the math. You don't think he's gonna make it?
The
Man.
math isn't in his favor, dude. What is this? Here, let me see if I can pop this up.
Oh, just squirted in.